चलो जितने भी भाई लोग बैठे हो ठीक है, सबको वेलकम है स्ट्रीम में। जो भी लोग आ रहे हो, आज होने वाला है HOK का वॉच पार्टी ठीक है। यहाँ पे इंडिया वर्सेस सऊदी अरब का मैच होने वाला है आज, और ये मैच बेस्ट ऑफ 3 है। टोटल 3 मैच होगा, 3 में से 2 गेम एक टीम जो जीतेगा उसका मैच होगा। So let's see.
Match number 4 of our day number 5 in the Asian Games Esports Qualifiers for Honor of Kings. Once again, the name is Sagi here, your desk host for today, and with me on the broadcast is the Voices of the Gorge, Holler, and
Sagi bhai,
Adam
Sagi bhai दे रहे हैं थोड़ा सा।
Happy to be here. It looks like we've shifted a little bit in terms of the roles, but you know we've gotten Adam in instead of Sir Cloud.
क्या लगता है दोस्तों, आज इंडिया जीतेगा या सऊदी अरब का टीम?
Wow, thank you. I'm so sorry about that, Cloud. I know you're listening in the talent room. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun because we are gonna go into our match number 4 between India and Saudi Arabia.
I'm excited about this one.
I think India and Saudi Arabia, right? In terms of the importance of this win, okay, not to say I'm undermining anyone's effort, but if you think about it from India's side, it's about to prove that they are improving. But for Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, it's a bit tricky because
last time 14 तारीख को इंडिया वर्सेस काजाकिस्तान था। उस बार इंडियन टीम शायद हार गए थे, तो आज सऊदी अरब का मैच है ठीक है, डे 2 इंडिया के लिए। तो इसमें चांसेस है इंडिया की टीम ने अच्छा तो खेला था, बट एक तरफा हुआ 2 गेम, इसलिए मुश्किल हुआ उस टाइम पे ठीक है।
Devara has been added into the classic and classic AOV heroes that is free to try out for a limited time. And this will be very fun for us all to try. It has been released today, so don't forget to update your game.
I'm gonna head home later after the cast, and I'm gonna be spamming some Devara because that hero can go Clash lane and can also be flexed into the farm lane role, but that's on the official server for later on. But coming back into our topic here for India and also Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. For India, I like the fact that you put on, it's like you have nothing to lose. So why not do your absolute best? Convert this experience for their next international tournament as a team.
Yeah, and they're going to be continuing on. I mean, they're the
Resident
Expert. They are the #1 team in India, and they will continue on into the KWC. So anything that they learn here is great. And having the opportunity to play, global teams, the teams that have been outside of your region, is a good opportunity for you to grow.
I agree with that because they have nothing holding them back anymore, so they should be able to just release and let go of everything, of their anger, of their maybe disappointments whatsoever, so they can try it their very best right now.
Wait, hang on. You have, when you play this game, are you like, oh, I want to kind of unleash my anger onto my, my opponent, so to speak, when you play Honor of Kings?
If I didn't make it to the main event, I might have that feeling a little bit,
All right. I thought you were just doing it to your teammates in ranked games.
Well, sometimes that do happen when we have teammates like Cloud.
I mean, that's where the dopamine hits, right? Like, that's how you actually become happy, because when you win games, when you have fun with your friends in the game itself, Honor of Kings, 5 stacks, 3 stacks, or duo solo, anything that makes you happy, it's gonna be happening in HOK itself. But for these two teams, I think it's pretty serious for Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We talk about the Team India perspective, but for KSA, final shot. If they lose this,
guys, start.
Yeah, it's very important for them. If they have to do something, they have to really improve something, and maybe they have learned after all of these matches that they've gone through. So this is also their proving grounds, trying to make sure that they can actually achieve a better game.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Saudi Arabia, the best they can do is 3rd place. And they need a little bit of help from the other teams. This is a very difficult group for them, and having the opportunity. I mean, you're still in it, right? So unlike India, which are not, sadly for them, but I think that this is also a moment you got to go all in.
And this also converts into stress points coming in from KSA, because if you think about it, India is like, okay, it's another game for me to play, to experiment, to enjoy the stage. But for KSA side, the pressure points on towards their mental is going to be like, damn, if I lose this game, I might be out. So the perspective coming in from both teams is rather different. For India, pretty stress-free, more on the fun side, more on the enjoying side. But for KSA, stress.
While there is definitely stress, and I think the coach's job right now is to just pretend like that stress doesn't work, like is not there, right? I think you need to want to play a little bit your free-flowing. What got you here? How did you play? Like, let's not so worry about the draft and all the different strategies and execution, and let's just play our game. And once we're able to kind of do that, then things will happen naturally, and then we can worry about those problems later.
That's ultimately the mental state of mind that you want yourself and your players to be in, right? In this free flow state, and you don't really have all of these unnecessary worries out there that might be affecting your gameplay. It's definitely very hard to achieve that as a coach. Definitely, it's a very heavy responsibility to try to manage the mentality of your players, but that's one of the hardest things to do as a coach.
It's a good perspective that you brought up, right? Because the coach is not only known for making pick and ban pickoffs or the strategies or the in-game teachings, but out of the game, you need to coach your team into a strong mental zone where if you're in deficits, where you're in like a pinch, you should have that mentality to strive even further to look for that ultimate goal that you're looking for.
Yeah, the coach is pretty much like the parent of the team, right?
Yes.
Not only in terms of like strategy, overall direction, and just like basically taking care of them, making sure that they're ready to go.
And talking about ready to go, both of our teams are currently ready on the stage to come up with this upcoming final match for India and an important one for Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So let's welcome them with this teaser video.
ओह आ गए चलो इंडियन टीम्स ये है ठीक है दोस्तों ये 5 लोग खेलने वाले हैं इंडिया से अच्छा वो ये वाला चलो आशीष भाई एक अक्षय भाई है हर्ष भाई एक ऐनुल भाई है क्या लगता है आप लोगों को इंडियन टीम जीतेगा आज
They have never stopped pushing forward, no matter the challenge. Though the road ahead has changed, their fighting spirit remains the same. They stand here with pride, ready to leave one final impression. Please welcome
म्यांमार का है क्या
India!
अच्छा ये इंडियन टीम है इंडिया वर्सेस अच्छा सऊदी अरब है ना
They have lived
Let's
moments
go,
of
bhai log.
brilliance. With the pressure lifted, they can now play their game without hesitation, ready to leave their mark once again. Give it up for Saudi Arabia!
चलो सऊदी अरब का टीम है ये अरे बाप रे
Both teams with one goal right now. Find that
Black-
first win in their respective
outfit है
groups.
सब
That
लोगों
one
का सऊदी
win
का
will boost their confidence, not only for today, not only for this tournament, but for the future of their career in Honor of Kings.
Yeah, and actually being able to kind of get that first international win, that's going to be huge for them. But it's going to be made up of Team India here. Ashish, Ainul, Harsh, Ayush, and Akshaj for all
Ainul
5.
bhai
We've seen that time
jungler
and time
hai.
again. Harsh has been
Ashish
made
bhai
some
fighter.
serious plays, getting a
Harsh bhai
stolen Tempest
lane hai kya?
Dragon.
Ayush
Has
bhai
been able to
gold
pick
lane
that
hai.
up. But Ainul also has been the guy, at least from the jungle.
He
अक्षय
has
भाई
been the main guy
tank
coming
is
in,
it.
right? As you were to mention, the guy that always plays the high-level mechanic heroes like the Arlie, sometimes lane swapping with Ayush. So Ayush and Ainul, they are both really flexible in that sense. But for me, I will want them to grow further as a player by specializing in their role, becoming this, I wouldn't say perfect player, but flexible player that is able to have a deep and diverse playstyle and hero pool.
Yeah, definitely. And let's see the lineup coming in from Saudi Arabia. We have Faris, Anas, Muath, Ahmed, and Muhammad.
And for this specific roster, right, coming in for the side of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed and also Faris, they often change their roles between each other. Sometimes Faris will go to the roamer role and Mohammed will go into the Clash Lane role.
Yes, this is why they are very well prepared, and we do know that they always change around their roles because they want to see what's the best way to put it, what's the best way, what's the most effective way for their players.
Yeah, but I mean, to kind of to your point, when you're pointing out with like Ainul, just like locking in a role, I think that, you know, it would help them long term if they were also able to lock it in Saudi Arabia here, where for us is Mohammed, so that we know exactly what you have, so that you're consistent. Changing things up can add a little bit of turmoil to a team.
Yeah, this is the exact thing that I want to point out, right? Whereby if you're consistently swapping roles left and right, yes, it proves that you're flexible, but in terms of the overall specific role mastery against your opponent who day and night trains in the same role, it's slightly different because
चलो
it
अब
may
गेम
not
शुरू
match
होगा,
up to
ठीक
the
है? सब
same
players
level
बैठ
here.
चुके
Maybe
हैं।
you cannot see it now,
अब
but in the
अपने
future, when the
सीट पे।
games are even tougher, when the games are even more high stake, that's where it starts slowly coming out to be a focal point for both teams.
I agree. It's definitely gonna affect you a
Saudi
lot in
का
the long
team
run
पूरा
because you
confidence
don't
में
really
लग रहा है।
collect that experience accumulatively enough to go against someone who is purely on that specific role. But again, probably maybe still very early on for them. They're still trying to see if, okay, this guy's attitude, this guy's gameplay, his character, is he the best to be playing at that specific role? Or maybe we should
So
move
एक
him around.
substitute
Maybe the
player
coach
है क्या
have that
उधर
kind of
भी?
mindset.
But do check out the screen though. These are our most banned heroes in the Asian Games Esports Qualifiers for Honor of Kings. So far, Mai Shanui has been the top ban with a 34 count, and then it comes down to Guan Yu and also the
Masero,
Dolia.
Vinay?
Hence, we don't see much Dolia
वो
nowadays.
स्ट्रीम का रिप्ले देख रहा था जब वो आप उसके ऊपर थे ना
The
दाई
Dolia one is
Yeah.
definitely
Danger
more
zone
about the
गिर
general
Danger
strategy.
zone गिर रहा था और मैं
Mine
मर
is about
जाऊंगा बोल रहे थे
Guan
ना
Yu is about that game-changing team fight ability that he
वो
has.
content बना के
Again,
मत डाल
very
देना,
good
कुछ भी
in
डाल
terms of
देते
those
रहते
having
हैं।
those 3 bans because they can literally change
उधर
this
उधर
game.
फिर लास्ट में
The
हम
pattern
क्या
of
किया
these
था ना वो
heroes
वाला
that's
क्लिप
being
देने जा
banned is
रहा
always
था वो
heroes
पार्ट
that
देख
are
रहा था
annoying in general because it's very hard to deal with a fast Mai Shanui, a very fast Guan Yu players that have a high mechanical shielding. I think it makes sense why we would ban these kind of heroes.
And Mai Shanui has been one of those mechanical heroes that you talked about, that if you play it well, you can really
अरे जल्दी
showcase its
start,
effect. But when you
चलो,
don't
25 सेकंड
play
बाकी
it
है।
well, it's more or less a negative point coming in for your team roster.
Do you actually realize that both of the heroes, the first and second hero, Mai Shanui and Guan Yu, actually is a hero that doesn't need mana and also doesn't need any too much of energy consumption. All they have to do is just focus on the cooldown and all that, so they don't have that kind of a problem, probably contributing to why it is oftenly picked.
It's that's their cost, right, Caller? And as we go into the pick and bans here for game number 1, this is India on towards the blue side, banning the Mai Shanui and also the Yu Huan, while KSA locks away the Diadia and the Arlie here. Maybe we might see a Guan Yu or a China first pick coming in from Team India.
Definitely open, but they're going to go with the Zhangfei. And one thing to take note of, India banning out the Yuan. This has basically
भाई निकल लिया, अच्छा वो वाला
traumatized
हीरो
the
लिया
India
है।
I
squad.
know,
This hero
right?
has just completely
लोगों
dominated
का
them when it's
permanent
been on
hero
the
है यार
opposing
शायद,
side.
मतलब
They're like, no, we're going to shut that one down.
It's definitely a hero with a lot of capabilities, right?
उधर
The
का
unending
लड़की
sorrow
character लिया है।
healing you a lot. So maybe sometimes instead of banning, maybe they can try playing heroes like Ninja to reduce the healing instead.
I like the idea, right? The built-in healing, healing reduction effect coming in from the Nurta really serves a role in cutting down these large healers like the Diardia, like the Byron, for example. So maybe that's a consideration that India can actually venture into. However, they do lock in the Xiao Qiao for the side of Harsh in that mid lane and pick up the Chano coming in from Ayush or Ainul in that case.
Yeah, and it looks like Saudi Arabia here going with the Byron and the Diadia. I think that these heroes have been criminally underplayed. They add quite a bit in terms of like the laning phase. They have a lot of control. Yeah, you want to jump to the back line, but how are you going to deal with both of them who have a ton of CC? This is a nice 1-2 combination. Plus now you got the Musashi on top.
Yeah, that's the question, right? And also probably they will try to handle that amount of CC with their own version of crowd control coming in from Zhang Fei, hopefully. But having Musashi on the line, they're going to be able to stop any terms of health regeneration coming in from India for about a couple of seconds with the duel to death. And as of now, it's not going to be a good idea for India to take any assassins for the jungle, I think, Sagi.
Well, we have to think, right? There's still limited options coming in for the side of Team India, but I like the Musashi pickup coming in for the side of KSA, where it gives direct access towards the backline on key targets like Ayush and also the side of Harsh on these two core carries here. And knowing for the fact it's Ainul, I don't think you'll put him on a jungle tank unless we see another lane swap shenanigan coming in from Ainul and also Ayush.
Yeah, you're playing it wrong, I think, if you put Ainul on some sort of hero. Like, he likes the mechanical damage dealing style. You got to play to your strengths, right? And he's more than capable to do that. And I mean, not to say that it's easy to play like a jungle tank, but it is definitely, you're kind of taking a lot of the punches and you're doing a little bit less, so it is a little bit simpler in that regard.
And it seems like India has already banned out Angela, knowing that
इधर
hero
भी
is
Angela है
just so painful to deal with, especially you as the Zhang Fei, as the front line, who's going to be dealing with a lot of blazing brilliance non-stop because the cooldown coming in from Angela is very, very short.
And to add on towards that, right, the Angela has been one of a rather popular picks in the tournament where it's really effective in taking down tanky heroes. When you get taken on by the Angela full combo, it probably deletes like 70% to 100% of your health if you take the full combo coming from Angela.
Yeah, that would be a problem, right? And I mean, it looks like KSA are going to go with this. Yeah, it's going to help. I mean, Musashi's probably a prime target to just get those extra levels and to just be that monster. But my problem with this hero is that, yes, it has that, you know, the universal law, that like the red carpet, if you will, of wave clear. But if you're falling behind, you're going to really struggle.
Yeah, I agree. It's not really a good scaling hero, but only in the early game he can try to bully as much as possible.
But
Nepal
let's
को
take a
कति
look at
खेर
India's
नेपालको
draft
आज
real
होइन
quick.
होला
We are
सायद
getting a
म्याच
Wukong debut coming in for the hands of Ainul here. I'm telling you, these are the assassin picks that are really, really fun to
तो
watch,
सबका पिक हो
especially when it
चुका
comes to
है
Wukong.
वुकोंग भी है यहाँ
Luck
तो
is a big issue with
अक्षर भाई ने
Wukong. If
Wukong
you're lucky
character
with
लिया
those
देखो
crits, you go
Last वाला
big with the team fights. But you're unlucky in the early game, it kind of slows down your clear and your team fight strength in the early game.
Yeah, the RNG coming in with Wukong is actually quite a lot. So
अब
sometimes
मजा आएगा
you
चलो
go with full calamity on the Arcana
Let's see
to
first game कौन
maximize the
जीतता
critical
है
chance. But sometimes I would love to try with Unparalleled to get a lot more of that critical damage instead.
And we were talking about how letting the players just play what they want. This is the perfect time, right? The Wukong just showing up. This is the first pick in the Asian Games Qualifier. Great for them.
I'm loving the confidence coming in from the side of Team India, experimenting picks coming in towards a tournament ground here, playing to their strengths. And right now, this is the series match number 4 coming between Team India finding a win against Kingdom of Saudi
चालू हो
Arabia.
चुका है
I
ठीक है
think this is
दोस्तों
exactly what we were asking for,
Let's go.
right? For India to actually just
Mid lane
play
में
as
अब
best as
tank
they
हम
can,
लोग
do
का। Mid lane में
whatever they
इतना
want and try
वो
their
होता है
limits.
क्या?
And this is trying their limits. Look at the map. Look at the position of
Bro,
Wukong,
क्या कर
which is
रहा है अक्षर
very,
भाई?
very interesting. And he actually
कौन सा
managed to
खतरनाक ही
get the
tank लिया है
Jogolem
क्या?
with no problem whatsoever.
Just to go. You want to steal, you want to be aggressive. We haven't seen India do this, right? So it seems like actually they're kind
वो
of
bike वाला भी
relieved, right?
character देखो ना, Ghost Rider
yeah,
जैसा है।
unfortunately for them, they're not going to be
आशीष
moving
भाई जो
on,
चला
but
रहे
at
हैं।
least it's to the point now where again,
अरे
let
बाप
the
रे,
players play
तो
the way that
danger
they
है यार।
want to play, and it is being aggressive, but they too right now are also being invaded.
Yeah, they're gonna be trying the same thing. I don't think they're gonna
Okay.
realize the
अरे
damage
लो।
coming in from Ashish.
Nice
with
यार,
the help
Indian
of
team ने
Faris.
सही खेला यार अभी।
They're gonna get the first strike, and also
बहुत चुरा रहा है
Jogolem is
शायद।
gonna go away.
Yeah, so I mean, a huge commitment for that one, but it was a nice rotation by Harsh, really setting it up with that Honey Sweep Breeze to really knock it down. Laning wise, they're in a much
1-0
better
है,
spot
ठीक है,
because
इंडिया का
again,
1,
yeah,
सऊदी का
KSA
0।
did steal the
Let's see
blue,
point
but they
कितना कितना
lost
होता
their
है।
own blue, so in neck and neck, it's pretty much even in that regard.
Still even right now, unless they stay around for a little bit longer for them to get the other resources, the smaller ones. But let's take a look at Ayush. Is he gonna be able to react to this move coming in from Faris? He's gonna lock the movement, but he's gonna pull back just a little bit.
Nice लगे सिर्फ खेलना पड़ेगा यहाँ पे।
Calvary is coming from the side.
Yeah, and this is why the Chano is always a prime pick, especially for the farm laner. You have that extra jump, you're able to kind of basically leapfrog away, get to safety, and the gank attempt was pretty formidable, right? Faris definitely has that little bit of control, but again, just not enough damage, especially early.
Oh, very unfortunate
दो
for Mohammed
कटाना
to
लेके
show
लो
up
लो लो
too
लो
early,
फाइट हो
and
गया
they see him.
मोहम्मद
They're
भाई
gonna
मर
go
गए
all
और
into Mohammed.
लो
Unless he's
घुस
gonna
के
be
मार
the
रहा है
target. He's gonna
आशीष
get pushed. Ashish is so relentless. He's gonna
लो
find
उसको भी
Faris. Faris
अरे
gonna
भाई
be
आशीष
that
भाई
is
नाइस
one
यार
strike for it.
1v3 मारा क्या
Mohammed and Akshat
लो
is tanking all
सब
the
wipe
damage
out
from the tower to allow his
बस मोहम्मद
teammates
बाकी
to go all in.
भाई
That could not
instant
have been
6
a
पॉइंट
better
यार
play
इंडिया की
by
तरफ
Ashish
से
there, right? With the Guan Yu
आशीष
and
भाई ने
why
सही
he's
खेला
like top
आशीष
3
से आयुष
most
किया था
banned,
नाम
because the way that he's
हाँ,
able
आशीष
to
ने
get
सही
on
खेला
it,
यार
you see it in the replay. He's looking to, he's lurking in
आशीष
the
था
top,
आयुष था
comes
आयुष
in,
था शायद
perfect Razor Cavalry, sets it up,
आशीष ने खेला था
Dragon
वो
onto
घोस्ट
three.
राइडर वाले बंदे
Again,
ने
just
मारा
everybody else is just
अलग ही
rushing
मारा
it
यार
through,
उसने
and
यार
literally it's a drive-by,
एकदम
finding Ferris as well, taking them all down. KSA had no chance, especially with the numbers.
जो भी हो
And again,
इंडियन
just a
टीम का
very
टैंक
aggressive play by
टैंक
India.
हीरो सही है
Let them
टैंक
go.
खेलने वाला
No
रोल
chance
सही है यार
whatsoever, and Ashish actually just
वो
walked
हार्ले
and galloped
डेविडसन
from
में
top lane all the
पूरा
way
जा
down to the
रहा है
bottom lane, and let's
और
see what
farm
he's going to
करते
do
हुए
to
आयुष भाई को
Ayush.
सेव करना होगा
Ayush
यहाँ
managed to survive that, but they did manage to get Zia in the mid lane. It's going to be a bit of a problem for Anas, maybe when he got hit a bit too much. But look at Mohammed, he's going to try to get this damage
गया
quite a
शायद
lot,
नहीं
but
नहीं
he's going
बचा
to be
है
able to survive that.
Yeah,
Hey,
it was
man,
very
what's
close.
right,
The dual death was used a little bit early. I felt like he might have saved that because when he gets the honey sweet breeze off, and unfortunately he did get hit, he was able to kind of walk away, but you save your dual death to the very last moment, and then you're able to go and secure that kill. Unfortunately for him, again, Harsh with a little bit of an outplay, just staying alive.
It's very interesting to see on how they literally just leave Ayush at bottom lane without any problem whatsoever, and
Mohammed
they
bhai aa rahe हैं।
believe and
और
are very
आइनुल
confident
भाई
with
का और
him to
मोहम्मद
actually
भाई
survive
का फाइट
anything.
लो
Can
क्या
he survive
डैमेज है
this?
भाई आइनुल का
It's gonna go down in the hands of
क्यों
Ainul.
कितना गोल्ड है यार
So this Wukong, this is a
6 level और 8
right?
level
Like
का
the
हुआ
amount
ना
of crit and the way that he's able to
अच्छा
find you and finding
इंडियन टीम
Mohammed,
के पास लीड
best case
अच्छा है
scenario,
पॉइंट
he's the
अच्छा है
other
गोल्ड
jungler,
अच्छा है
right? You
डैमेज
slow
भी
him
अच्छा
down
है
and it
ठीक है
comes off of his
ये
expense.
देखो डैमेज
Umbrella
देखो
outburst connects.
चलो
Anas
ये गेम तो
goes
इंडियन टीम
down.
लेगा
How many
100%
times
मैं लिख के
Anas
देता
has
हूँ
to go down so
9-0 हो
many
चुका
times.
पूरा
Very
एक तरफा खेल रहा
unfortunate
है
for him. His Romo is actually quite far and they're
भाई
gonna
टीम
go
को देख के लगा
directly
था
to
सऊदी
the
का
back.
भाई
Yeah, and
कॉन्फिडेंस तो
Akshay
था
just
यार
like, buddy, I
अच्छा
need help.
खेलेगा
I
जैसा
don't
लग
have
रहा
any
था
damage. I mean, yeah, I can take this tyrant here, but it just
ये
really
गेम
again
तो
setting it
लेगा
up for
शायद
Ainul.
इंडियन टीम ही
India right now finding that fourth gear, if you will. They're off to a racing start, and it's not even 5 minutes in.
Yeah, within 5 minutes, they have 5,000 gold in front. This is very, very aggressive coming from them. It feels almost unfortunate that they didn't try something like this before,
I know,
which is
bhai,
very
Wukong
aggressive
खेल रहा है,
with
Wukong.
the Wukong going in, invading very early. I think it's a very good gameplay from them.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna say, hey, let the
Bhai,
past be in the
Assis
past,
bhai,
my
aura
friend.
to
All right, we
dekho
moved
Have
on.
fun.
Okay, all right, it is what it is, and I think that no, India, this is where again you gotta let them fly, let the bird out of the cage, and they're playing well. They're up 9-0, finding all the right pickoffs. They're positioning, and they're looking to rotate in the top lane here, potentially going for another game.
Akshat is still trying to see if this is the right move for him to
लगता
go
है
in, but
fight
we have to
होने वाला है।
remember, Madness hasn't been used just
Tyrant
yet.
ले लो
He's
भाई।
still not full.
Tyrant,
He has to
yeah,
collect
Overlord
it
क्या
first.
बोलते हैं।
That's the downside of Jangfei, and he's gonna pull back just a little bit.
कौन जीत रहा है,
With
नहीं?
5,000 gold in front.
टेम्पेस्ट
I have
ड्रैगन
enough madness
टेम्पेस्ट
for
ड्रैगन बोलते हैं क्या या
Akshat
फिर
to
टायरेंट
fill
बोलते हैं
that bar, okay?
इसका
I
इंडियन
think
टीम
that
ने
we're
पूरा
gonna
लीड
be
ले
able
लिया
just
9-0
find
का
just a matter of time before
9
they
किल
get it. But again,
और उधर
once
एक तरफा
they do,
खेल रहा
that's
है
the
सऊदी
team
को
fight. Look at KSA right now. They know
फार्मिंग
that
ज्यादा किया ना देखो
they're-
17
हाँ
के
देखो ना
फार्म
9
होते हैं।
लेवल वर्सेस 6 लेवल हो चुका है
Gildrath has
और
hit
देखो ये
him
लोग
and
उतना
he's
मार रहे
gonna
हैं
try
2-3
to
बंदे
run
मिलके
away.
बट फिर भी
Ashish is
डैमेज
still
बहुत
okay.
लो
He
घट रहा है
knows
इंडियन
that
टीम
he's
का
a little
क्योंकि
bit
उन लोगों के पास
of
पॉइंट ज्यादा हो चुके हैं ना
and four
डैमेज
people
ज्यादा
still
हो चुका है
nearby,
एचपी भी ज्यादा हो
but
चुका है
Ayush is gonna destroy the tower and
गोल्ड ही ज्यादा
so
होगा ना
is
इंडियन टीम
Anas
का
gonna be gone.
You get out of position one time.
Double
and
gap.
everyone is on
4
top.
के गोल्ड
The
है
crits are real.
जहाँ
This
इंडियन टीम का
Wukong is a
4
bit
के
of a
गोल्ड है
problem.
उधर
If he's ever gained
2
up
के
on
गोल्ड
or
है
if he's
सऊदी का
controlled, that's how you shut
टोटल
shut him
गोल्ड
down.
इंडियन टीम के पास
KSA
20,000 है
though,
और
have
उधर
been caught out.
13,000
They've
है
been
सऊदी
walking
का
alone in these dark alleys.
7,000 का लीड में है
Umbrella
पूरा
connects once more,
ये
but
देखो
no
अब
one
डैमेज
is
देखो
doing
यहाँ
any follow-up towards him.
One
It's
sided
a
game
little bit
जाएगा।
of a
One
waste.
sided
He
game
has to
रहेगा, तो ये
pull
तो
back
पूरा
just a little bit.
जीत
But look
लेगा।
at Mohammed.
10 मिनट में-
He
10
goes
मिनट
all the way to the
चलो,
front,
fight
trying
हो
to find
चुका
the
है
ball.
और भाई
Punishes his position
जान है मार यार।
immediately.
Yeah, I know. Just with the burst, and he just like walks away, right? Like it's like cool people don't look
लो,
at
लो, लो, लो।
explosions, and he's just
अरे।
getting those kills and just
नहीं
literally walking
नहीं,
on
तुझसे एचपी से बात है
basically
यार
on a sliver of life here.
आइनल
You
भाई
painted a very nice picture that
Screen
I
share
only
करूँ?
imagine that
Yeah,
in
well.
HD.
मैं देख रहा हूँ screen पे।
I know he's trying to
Okay.
run back and he
इधर नहीं है
knows
ना
that
screen?
he needs to get some of his
नहीं है।
HP back, but we do know that the Overlord is still up.
गोल्ड कैप देखना
This
था
is
डबल का है
10
ये
minutes, so
इंडियन
they
टीम के
really
लिए।
have to
हाँ,
maybe
पूरा double
wait
का ही
for
है, goal
10
gap
minutes to actually make good use of an Overlord.
All lanes pushing right now. I mean, everything in favor of India. The way that they've been dismantling KSA, they are playing scared. They're holding hands. They're just like walking into the lane together because they know that Ainul might be there. Anas
Access
previously
भाई,
went down
access भाई,
Lord
वो
behind his
हाँ,
T2.
Lord
He got
जैसा है,
caught
इसको
out. No place is safe right now.
टायरेंट
for
बोलते हैं
KSA.
या टेम्पेस्ट ड्रैगन
Quoting
कुछ
what
तो
Saki
बोलते हैं या
said
फिर
just a little
ओवरलॉर्ड
bit just
बोलते हैं
now,
ओवरलॉर्ड
right
बोलता
now,
होगा
Wukong's critical chance is looking very nice. Everything that he hits, it all procs the critical damage. It's a lot and it's working very well.
And that's what you want to continue on. I think that, you know, Ainul has just found the right moments. He's got a huge level advantage. Now,
ओके घुस चुका है लो लो दोनों को मार दिया तीन गया अरे यार बीच में घुस के मार रहे देखो ना नहीं नहीं आशीष मरेगा चारों को मार दिया यार एक ही बंदा बचा है इसका कौन है वो मेज हीरो होगा शायद लो कुछ भी डैमेज नहीं लग रहा है उन लोगों को देखो ना
खत्म ही हो गया
बेस खत्म शायद बेस खत्म नहीं 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 थोड़ा सा एचपी है यार मारो बेस को
एक बंदा डिफेंड कर रहा है देखो ना भाई
नहीं नहीं फुल वाइप आउट हुआ तो मुश्किल है इंडियन टीम के लिए भागो भागो भाई लोग ला नहीं वो सब मर गए ला
सब मर गए
हाँ सब मरने वाले चीज कर रहे सब लोग लो 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 लो
क्या रेंज है
अभी यहाँ पे ये सब लोग मर जाते हैं ना इंडियन टीम
Well,
तो मतलब
हाँ,
ये लोग
let's be very
जीतता
honest, even
फुल
it looks
जीतता
like
सऊदी
Ainul
अरब
will
का टीम
somehow stay alive.
Just
Did get a
करना
pick
पड़ता
off
है
on
ना,
that one,
लेकिन
but that
इंडियन
was
में
just by
रहना
one
turret
versus
सब
four,
होते हैं
which is
ना।
kind of crazy.
Minion के
But
साथ
I mean, India,
इस
let's
तरह
be
से।
very
भाई,
honest. I think
Crazy
we all
यार।
would have just stuck around. We all would have
क्या
looked to
मतलब
end.
क्या
There
ही तो
was
fight
only
चला है
Anas
वहाँ पे
left.
अभी।
And if we're checking this replay, I mean, yes, the crystal is wide open, but here come the reinforcements.
देखो तो,
It's still
replay।
too early in the game where the respawn timers are too quick, and they're fortunate that they only lost Ayush.
And they have to remember they have a Zia, right? So Zia is a very long-range hero. He's gonna be able to clear
Can
the
get a
waves
defense
very
up,
quickly
point
with no
damage.
problem whatsoever. And fortunately for them, that's the only hero that was still alive, thanks to him being down just now.
Yeah, Anas, I mean, the old and wise man, somehow able to kind of salvage, at least for now, but just buying time, right? I think KSA, they're fortunate that the game didn't end right there. It was more about the minion waves, but again, Anas was, the way he was able to kind of take down those waves, that's what kept them alive.
Look at Akshaj. We all know that we can expect another Umbrella Orb is going to be used
चलो
trying
अब
to
इस बार
start
शायद
the fight
टीम
for sure,
खत्म कर
but
सकता है
Ashish
ठीक
is
है
gonna
इंडियन
try
टीम
to do a follow-up.
चलो चलो फाइट हो
Umbrella
चुका है
Orb
एक
has
गया
been hit. They're gonna try to
सऊदी का
get
एक
the
गया
front line.
दो गए तीन गए चार गए
Ashish is gonna pull off.
भाई गया चलो भाई
Will be
खत्म ही हो गया है
destroyed.
पहला गेम विक्ट्री आ चुका है इंडियन टीम की तरफ
10
से
मिनट में गेम खत्म कर
नाइस
दिया
यार
भाई,
10
देखना।
मिनट भाई कल इससे पहले वाले गेम पे काजाकिस्तान के साथ जो हारा ना मतलब मेरे को भी अच्छा नहीं लग रहा था बट आज दिखाया यार ये वाला गेम में अलग ही
very, I would say, proactive.
चलो
of
बेस्ट ऑफ
Vital
3 गेम है
outburst
तो
coming in from the side of Akshaj
होगा एक और
on that
गेम
side
होगा
of Faye. And I know that's
दो
an
और
extra
गेम
pick on
कितना
the
लंबा break
Wukong.
लेते हैं
That was a eye-opener
ब्रेक
here
थोड़ा
with those
बहुत
crits.
मुतने
We
जाता
need
है ये
more
लोग
Wukong. We
पानी
need
खाने
more
जाता
Ainul
है
on.
Agreed.
I think that's the biggest piece. It was a good
maybe
change of
that-
pace for them. I
maybe
mean,
not.
they're being able to set it up. I mean, yeah,
अंदर ही अंदर
happy.
बुरा लग रहा हो हाथ मिला रहा
But the way
है
that they did it, it's got to be a little
अंदर ही अंदर
discouraging
गाली दे रहा
on the
होगा ना
KSA side.
I think this is because they don't have that
It's not that
pressure
many bad
anymore.
seconds.
There's no one breathing down their neck. I think this is what makes them feel a lot more free to do anything that they want. And it's being reflected into their gameplay. And they actually try insane, crazy gameplays in the early on, and it actually worked.
I think it's valuable experience nonetheless because for Team India, these are the moments that you can actually gather that confidence and convert it into other tournaments, regional pro leagues, or even for your personal life itself. And I'm proud of them. In this game one itself, they did express
Hello.
one of the best gameplays so far that India has to offer.
And they showed up, right?
They showed up,
I,
yeah.
I think that in
Last time, like
the
you
last
said.
match, everything, you know, again, unfortunately, again, they're not going to be making the main.
Today
But
India
the
full form है
ability
भाई।
to be
हाँ
like,
यार।
okay, we're still here. We're still competitive. We
Full
are
form
still a
में
team
यार।
that's kind of, when we're able to kind of play our play style, we're able to dominate like that game.
Really making good use of their time here to
Yeah.
get as much experience as they can. And what's wrong with trying, right? And especially in this situation. So I do think that they can try to implement this maybe back in their own league in the future because they've actually did something that is quite insane here.
I mean, it's not an everyday thing that you get to travel across the world just to play in
Exactly.
a qualifier tournament with like different region, cultural exchange, living in a nice hotel and everything, like enjoying food with different people, you know, exchanging thoughts with other pro players and pro teams. So I think it's a good start coming in for India, and also we need some new stuff coming in from Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as well, because like we say, yes, it's over for India's approach in going to the main event, but for Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, if they can clinch back this series, they still have a shot.
Yeah, and you know Ainul, every single time when he's on that Wukong and he's just like deleting hero, he's just like cultural exchange, he's like smacking them all down, right? You know, because he was having such a field day. He was enjoying this hero, and you could tell why this team was starting to hit their groove because, again, letting them play, they were being very aggressive, and we want to see more of
हाँ यार
India
सच
playing
में
like
मतलब
this.
एग्रेसिव
Freedom really
अलग ही
gives
एग्रेसिव
them a
खेला ना
lot
मैंने
of
इंडियन टीम
aggression for sure. They're much more brave, much
पूरा
more
lead पे lead
this thing, that thing. But
एकदम
this is
eye
the automation
confidence
coming
में ना।
out from them. We would like to see what Wukong has
किसने अच्छा
done.
खेला
He
है?
actually
Ainul
brought
ने-
Eternity Blade, Shadow Reaper, and
आईपर था
Axe
शायद
of
आइनल भाई
Torment. I think
Wukong
all
खेल
of
रहे
this
थे।
really focuses down on critical strike as he should.
Yeah,
और
807, right?
Yeah,
मेन
807.
मेन
8 times he
वो
did cultural exchange. I'm just saying. Go on.
8 times he bonked on
टैंक
the
होता है
enemy,
यार
right?
मेन तो मेन काम तो
807 and also 8,720 gold in a mere 9-minute game against Kingdom of
Nice
Saudi
खेला, nice.
Arabia
Ainul
here,
भाई
and
ने
a
अच्छा खेला,
shout out
आशीष ने
over
अच्छा
to the
खेला।
side of their roamer here.
आशीष का
I
भी
definitely
रोल सही
gotta give
था।
props over to the side of Akshaj. This is one of the best games he's played so far.
आयुष
on
का late game में
Saturday.
होता तो अच्छा
He
game
got
दिखता।
so many crucial
early
umbrella
game में
outbursts
उसको
to
ज़्यादा
start off
पेल
the
दिया।
team fight,
एक बार
and one
मारा
of the final few moments, he caught both of the carries coming in from Ahmed and also Anas to settle the game.
Yeah, and actually the
गेम
only
का नाम
time
Honor
Ayush
of
got
King
picked
है,
off, I mean, he's the only
okay।
death on the
Honor
entire team.
of
So
King.
I guess there's that black mark right there in terms of the team's performance. I mean, it's just one death.
Yeah, but still, we did see a lot of Akshay's very good play. He was actually so consistent with his Umbrella outburst just now, managing to get at least 2 to 3
Buddha wala
people
yun, देखो ना.
every single time. So making full use of that. Because sometimes we've seen within day 1, day 2, some jump phase actually just use his ultimate towards one hero, only one hero, and sometimes didn't even hit anything. So this is something that you really need to practice to find the timing and communicate with your teammates.
Look at how I know, man. His damage,
चलो दूसरा game भी हो
74,000
जाए यार,
damage,
जल्दी-जल्दी.
right? The burst. I mean, it's like, yeah, crits, but like he just found people isolated and he would just burst them down. I want to see more Wukong. I want them go back to this even in game 2.
Like, aside from Wukong, there's still a few heroes that we have yet to see in the jungle pool itself, like especially the Lam, for example, the Liu Bei, for example, Tianwei. All these I would want to expect coming in from Idol. He's a pretty good mechanical player here, you know? Good future coming in for the Team Indian squad, especially. They haven't joined HOK for long. This is one of their first debuts in a regional tournament here, so pretty good start coming in. But judging coming for KSA, I would say that that's a lot of role swaps coming in for the entirety of their
हाँ,
team.
मैंने खेलना ही
Every
छोड़
single
दिया
one,
Zerox,
except Ahmed,
Sky Zerox
has a role
भाई.
swap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this probably has to be lesser in the future, or maybe that they have to find something else rather than just swapping roles. Maybe they have to force one of the players to just stick to their roles and try until the end of the tournament. Maybe that would work as well. But with the amount of damage coming in from Ahmed, he will definitely shine throughout the entire team.
So, I mean, it's a little early for the India squad. We were talking about the fact that this is like their first big international and just they had their first league and they got in. KSA, on the other hand, is even in a more infant state, if you will, right? So to find that fitting in terms of role and all of that, it's going to be some growing pains, right? They haven't found exactly where they want to be, and I think that just trying things out, again, this is a team that has that potential to grow, though.
Sometimes you have to get hurt a little to actually experience growth. So for both of these teams, India and KSA, the growth might not be the smoothest, but it will be expected if you always put in the pain and also the effort coming in towards it.
Yeah, definitely. And the pain actually comes from Wukong a lot just now, which he managed to do a lot of cultural exchange. But the graph is looking very, very nice for India. They have proven that they are able to play at this level with high amount of pressure as well. And
लगता है इंडियन टीम ने उस गेम पे ज़्यादा वो सीसी हीरो खेला था.
They're giving us a very good showcase.
Yeah, these are the few moments that they actually were really aggressive in the early game, with Ashish coming in with a very, very crucial assistance here, coming in all the way from Clash Lane at the bare 2 minutes here. They almost aced their opponent here, but due to the fact that the timer was just so fast coming from Mohammed, he came back up, and this is the bonks, the cultural exchanges that you guys were mentioning about.
There were so many. I mean, he had 8. You would catch them out, but the way he was, like, again, finding another one, that's cultural exchange for you. Where you going, brother? That's not going to happen. So, again, being able to just find the right moments. It's like when KSA, no place is safe, right? And you're on the defensive side. And, like, that was a perfect umbrella.
Perfect umbrella outburst, catching on towards to Ahmed and also Mohammed, and just sending
यहाँ
them
का
back
part सही था
to
यार.
fountain here. As of this point, you can definitely feel that Team India is starting to have more confidence in these team fights here. Yes, they didn't end right here, which caused Ayush to suffer that takedown coming in with the Musashi dive. But overall, it has been a pretty good game, especially with Aino just finding those bonks, finding those backline flanks on this Wukong pick.
Just so good, just so good. I mean, the umbrella outburst, and then you have the Guan Yu as well from the top with the Razor Cavalry, but I mean, the MVP here, clearly him.
It's gonna be, I know, 807, 40% damage coming in from him. This is not surprising, right? We know that he has dealt a lot of damage for the entire team, and the damage taken is not small as well, 22.8% alongside with 25.3% of total gold. I know showing up with his Wukong, very scary, very risky, and he's still able to pull it off very well.
I think so as well. It's a very mechanically difficult hero coming in for the side of Aino here. And I like the Wukong pick, right?
Yeah.
It's non-conventional, but if you put it in towards a jungle counter where he did in level 1, because of the fact that Wukong spell 2 gives you that execution mark that you can hop on towards the jungle monster and execute it at about 15%, which technically outsmites most of the junglers in this patch.
Yeah, and actually they started things very, a different foot, right? And we had not seen them jungle invade, and they went for that because again they had the research of, oh, okay, it looks like they're gonna take their red, the blue is gonna be open, I'm gonna be able to solo it as Ino, and that started this snowball effect.
Which is very nice, right? Because we rarely see that from India, especially to have that confidence to actually go sort of blindly into the enemy jungle and try to steal one, and they've been lucky about it. It's very, very nice to see. It's very refreshing to see India trying something new.
It's a good game plan nonetheless coming in for the side of Team India and also Ino here. But can they actually continue their dominance here in this series is what I exactly want to find out. I want consistent coming in from Team India if they want to prove themselves to the world that they are contending.
इंडियन टीम ने पूरा एक तरफा मारा सऊदी अरब
skill
को.
and experience to do so, right? Because this is a team that we saw. Like even when the highlights were shown, most of them were about execution, right? When those ganks were happening, they were very patient, waiting in the brushes, and then they would walk in, and then they would spring their trap. Right? That takes a team that's really good execution, and with that coordination to make those plays at the same time.
Yeah, coordination and communication, especially on how Ashish, in the first ever team fight, he actually galloped his Guan Yu all the way from top to bottom without using teleportation, by the way. So I think that's very nice for him to do because this is a surprise, right? There's no announcement telling that Guan Yu is coming here, and the communication was so on point. They actually had that team fight so good that they won the first one.
It's one of those proactive plays that you need to praise players, right? Because 2 minutes into a 5v5 team fight and actually bagging all the 5 takedowns coming in from Team India, that's what really put them on the board and allowed Ainul to consistently find those single pickoffs against Mohamed's Musashi in the early to mid game here. Then later on, it's all the Ainul show. Just pouncing on, bonking any single one of the enemy team that he actually saw. And those unbridled outputs coming in from Ayush, those coming in from the side of their roamer, those were really good.
Okay, but as the coach of KSA though,
all right,
how do you stop the cultural exchange? What do you need to do here? How do you get yourself back into this series?
I think that's a difficult part, right? Because so far that we've seen, KSA seems to be lacking a bit in terms of the mechanical and also the macro department, which no one blames them because they are still learning, they're still emerging. So for them, same thing. You try to learn as much as possible and convert those into learning experience, and then maybe in the next game, in the next series, you try to prove yourself more. You can't shorten the gap in one single night. It's not feasible. You have to get the experience and then slowly build that path.
I would say probably try your very best to play with your comfort hero first.
Yes,
and maybe that's the good place to start, sort of, because there's not much of a risk for them to actually try to go with their comfort heroes, even though it might not work. You know, it's not the meta hero. But at the very least, they understand that hero first. It's always the first step of learning process. It's always the micro understanding the hero itself.
But do you know what I want to learn about? Like, I want to learn about where is the exact venue of our Asian Games Qualifiers.
Honor of King को watch party
Marriott Hotel, the official venue of a hotel partner
Honor
of
of King
2026
मा आज
Asian
Indian
Games Esports
team को game छ नि
Qualifiers for Honor
त.
of Kings. And as we go into
नेपाली
this one,
team
of
को
course,
पनि
it's the
हुनु
fourth
पर्ने
series
हो.
of the day.
हेर्नु
Game
पर्छ ल
number
यसपछि
2,
नेपाली
finding
team
ways
को
to
भने.
get back into this one. I mean, I know that there's a bit of a gap in terms of skill. It looks like that's a bit of a problem. You were talking about familiarity. Makes a lot of sense. But I think for this one, it's just like, hey, let it all out there. Right? Everything is on the line.
Yeah.
Elimination, it is what it is. But play, again, something you're comfortable with.
Yeah, I think it's a good start. Rather than trying to force something that you are not really comfortable with. And also maybe probably try to rotate more with your friends from the mid lane jungle and the roamer to do a little bit of those gold sharing.
Exactly, right? I think I like the fact that Holler brought up the thing that you cannot be playing
आगे
scared.
मजा आ रहा है.
And just go all out. Like you can see on the screen itself, there is a player swap coming in for Muaf, swapping in for Youssef. So Youssef will be
Vinayak
taking
जैसा
on
है यार
the
ये
original
तो.
role. We know for a fact that Youssef has had a lot of game time coming in with the Kingdom
ऐसा है
of
क्या
Saudi
Vinayak भाई?
Arabia squad. So maybe coming in,
है ना?
you will bring
थोड़ा
a
ऐसा ही
different
है.
chemical reaction
Vinayak
with the team itself against a specific matchup.
Okay, what kind of chemical reaction is
Vinayak
gonna be?
भाई.
I need to be very careful. I don't know. I'm fire resistant, I would think, but I want to be very safe here. And
चलो.
I think a good chemical
50
reaction
second
would
में
just
start
set
होगा
the
game.
confidence level to a higher one. We're not talking about the actual chemistry. We're talking about like, actual
Oh, okay.
mental chemical reaction.
Got it,
here.
got it.
Maybe like a player of a certain team is like maybe they're not the most mechanically best at something, but they have the leadership or they have the mentality of a captain that can bring
क्या खा रहा है
the
chocolate?
team atmosphere up when everyone is down.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of aspects to this, right? that's contributing to how the game is being played. Also, how well they know each other. Maybe this player might bring in terms of shot calling inside the game. Maybe he's much more of a leader that can try to oversee with a better vision throughout the entire map. So it's all going to be depending on how they're going to execute this, knowing that all of these factors are going to play a lot of effect into the game.
Yeah, and it looks like the teams are getting ready. We're going to be starting the draft here. But one thing to take note of, India right now, it seems like they're very jovial. They're in a great spot, right? Being 1-0, I think that they're going to be comfortable with that. But it looks like they're going to start things off with a Lapu pick.
We've seen a Lapu pick coming in from Akshaj. I would say that in the first few days, it wasn't as consistent. And coming off of a fresh game of that Zhangfei just now, I would say that he's more confident right now in finding better engages or more daring ones in towards the back line here. KSA picking up a rather safe 1-2 here. One of the tournament's most picked duo, the Chano and Zhangfei here as their 1-2.
I'm actually quite surprised that India did not take Zhangfei as the first hero. I was expecting Zhangfei to be picked because that seems to me like one of the best performing hero for them just now. But it seems like they're going with Xiao Xiao and Aaron. Two magical heroes, but of course Aaron's basic attack is going to be focusing on physical attacks. This is going to be quite interesting. 2 damage has appeared. We might see maybe a couple more times coming in from India.
If I'm being completely honest, I'm not 100% on the Aaron train usually. Especially going up against a Chano, I definitely think that this is not a great laning phase for you. You obviously have a potential late game, assuming you're rolling, right? But it's not going to be easy. So it comes really back to like Ayush, how does he play with this one? Again, he's not the guy. It's mainly been Ainul to really setting up this team for success.
So far, I think regarding the Aaron pick, right, I would rather have a team here which could really set the pacing for the team itself in dodging some of the unbridled outbursts with the legal immunity and also go 50-50 in the laning phase against the Chano here. But maybe it's a confident pick coming in from Ayush because we have seen him pick it multiple times in this tournament.
He's comfortable on it,
yeah. Coming a little back towards what Holo just said just now about Aaron, I do agree with you because Laurel Bloom, if I'm not mistaken, can also shoot its target towards the Spirit Wolves, which might be a waste of the projectiles coming in from Aaron's ultimate. So I agree with Sagi as well, because Direnji might be the better pick here.
Oh yeah,
the read my message I'm from
India.
India.
In the Nutza here as one of
Thank you, bhai.
I would say Nutza has been skyrocketing in popularity recently, man. Like out of the last 2 days, it has been increasing more and more appearance rates here. And you can start to see the confidence oozing out of Team India here. Molan, second pick of the tournament here, and also Xuan Ce, our first one of this Asian Games Qualifier.
Going with both. I mean, both of them, first pick for both. I mean, why not at this point? We're saying, hey, let the birds out of the cage, and we're seeing it, right? Across all the different roles, and going with both of them to kind of go into game 2. Pretty interesting picks here.
I think you're going to like this. Because it's going to be very interesting on how the gameplay might be a little bit similar towards Wukong, because the damage is going to be all focused on critical. So more or less the same.
On board. Let's see it exactly. And as we go into this game, any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I want to see this transfer pick shine once again. Back-to-back first debut picks of the jungle with more assassin picks here coming in from Ainul. He is trying to go out with a bang.
With a bang indeed, and this is going to be the second game between both of these teams. I'm pretty sure India is on fire right now, and they can perform very well with Mulan and Xuan Ce and Xiao Xiao.
3D view
it's going to be quite fun. Very fun indeed.
Yeah, it definitely will be fun here. But the lineup, okay. When you're talking about the Neza, you've got the battlefield command from Manas. It's like the delivery system, right? 2 people right on top of you. That's the initiation that you're looking for. The problem, though, is that if you're looking kind of at Faris and Youssef, both kind of immobile, not as fast. So the synchronization of the team fight, when they do happen, when he does try to go for that launch, you got to be on point, right? You cannot be slow. You can't be early. You got to be right on time.
Yeah, you can't go one by one. I totally agree with you. But again, exactly like what happened in the previous game, India and KSA, both of them actually traded their blue buff. Azure Golem is going to be swapped, but it seems like he's going to get caught here. Stun has been used by Zhangfei. They're going to go in and and try to get Faris. Faris might go down right now.
Nice.
He might
Faris
overextend
मर
just a little
गया.
bit, not expecting there's gonna be a cavalry arriving to back up India at the bottom lane.
Oh, I know. Just styling on all the heroes that we haven't seen. Again, just letting the man play those, like, the heroes that we, again, haven't seen, right? That hook was perfect. And the fact that Faris was in a bad spot, I mean, it was just the perfect setup. And again, why India is doing, or they're in the driver's seat here.
She's actually manages to survive that execute, and he will try to recall first. But again, Schwanche's skill set is really confusing sometimes to people who hasn't seen it before, for sure. He's gonna be able to sort of hook and like throw them to his back and
Ice
make
वाला
sure that
character
he
क्या है
hits
यार
them.
फुल जैसा
But the
मोहम्मद
damage
का?
actually comes from basic attack, which hurts a
लो
lot.
खींच लिया.
And that's
अरे,
just
अरे,
another hook,
लो,
right?
लो,
Just
लो,
setting it
लो.
up, just
पेल
out
दिया,
of
पेल
control.
दिया.
Mohammed just in a bad spot, gets hooked again. Ainul just
खींच-
playing with his
खींचते पेल
food.
दिया.
Damage is a lot, and we can see on
इस बार भी
Faris,
इंडिया
he's
जीतेगा
not ready
शायद.
yet. He doesn't have
अभी
his
थोड़ा
armor
बहुत
down,
lead
but
तो
he's
है
still at level
starting का.
4. But look at Harsh. Harsh is
पर
still ready
देखना
to
होगा.
steal this jungle, but he did not manage to do so. Ahmed managed to land the last hit.
Actually, Faris is not level 4, so he's not able to use the ult, even with the madness that he has. So they're gonna need it soon, but he doesn't even have it at this moment.
They're all grouping up at the Azure Golem. Are they going to try to force it out? No, they're not. They're going to be much more safer than that. With the 2,000 gold lead, this is quite early for India.
I mean, they just hit the 3-minute mark, up about 2.5k. Really sets up with Ainul. Like, his ability to farm, ability to execute, and to find players. And they found Yusuf in the mid lane. This is looking disastrous for KSA.
Yusuf is going to lose his hero in a bit, and I think it's going to be quite problematic for them. This is not the first time that the mid lane of KSA is going to go down. Previously, it was Anas, but right now Anas has changed his role, playing at Clash lane. He's going to try to run away. Ashish is gonna try to pull him back, but the Battlefield man actually saved him.
Yeah, it definitely did save him. I mean, that's one way to deal with the hook, but a way Ainul was able to kind of get that initial hook, now you're threatening. Look at, he's just diving the backline.
Yeah, he's really going all in, no problem whatsoever. Mohammed is still trying to protect his teammate, but Ainul is so angry. Anas is gonna go down as well. Mohammed almost got hooked, but he is all right.
Oh my gosh, I know how you like a good hooker, Adam. I mean, Ainul's just been on point, just hitting him time and time again. The only one he didn't get was that last one because, again, the speed, that just barely out of range. I mean, but Ainul's completely styling here.
Titan right now. Titan is going to be started by Ainul, but Ainul's HP is actually quite low, and Faris is not going to do anything because it's a bit too risky, especially when there's 4,000 gold difference. But we haven't seen any movement coming in from Mohammed.
Yeah, we haven't yet, because he hasn't had that space to really kind of, you know, feel comfortable enough to go in. Ainul's at half, though. Misses the hook there.
Oh, okay, it is a good hook, but it didn't hit. But it's going to try to take Mohammed. Mohammed's going to go down, and Mohammed is actually building a full physical item. So this is why he is extremely squishy. And I'm not sure if this is the best decision that he has.
It doesn't look like that. Ainul has as well, so his ability to just take them down. Ashish, even in the top lane, getting that solo onto Anas. This is looking rough. KSA right now, they have one kill to their name, but mainly they've lost their jungle. They're falling way behind as they're down 5k.
Extremely way behind for sure. How are they going to try to win this out? Ahmed needs to farm as much as he can, but how can he farm when Ashish is all over him all the time, and they're going to try to get him, but Ashish is going to be able to run away with no problem whatsoever.
Oh, that was one where they actually had him in a good spot, but then Mohammed tried to go for the Skyfall way too late.
Damage is quite high. Faris is still okay. He managed to run away, but look at Ashish! Oh, he missed his first kill. He wanted to slash, but look at this. A very good Raging Sea hitting both of them, and Anas cannot help him at all.
Cannot help at all. And I mean, this is where the wheels kind of fallen off, right? Mohammed, he wants to be aggressive. He wants to be skyfalling your back line, but he gets getting jumped, and he doesn't really, I mean, he's pretty much a melee creep just trying to jungle at this point because he's not able to get anything going. He is so far behind. I mean, look at the goal.
Yeah.
He's second from the bottom.
Second from the bottom, indeed. They're going to try to focus down on the high ground tower. Are they going to force it out? A very high damage coming in from them. At least it seems like Anas needs to pull back just a little bit. But again, the Ninja, Mohammed, with a full physical build, he's not going to be able to use a Grand Skyfall to the back line.
can't. I mean, how can you, right? The way that they're even grouping, it's almost like, you know, a terrible decision to go. And taking the bottom T3 here, India right now just like taking over this game.
Yeah, they're going to try to group up around the bottom area, still trying to see if this is a good chance, this is a good time for us to go in or not, but it seems like they're going to play it
Level
safe.
gap देखो ना दाई
The trigger discipline is still very well
तो
kept
सो जाऊंगा
by
ऐसे लग
India.
रहा है यार
They're
stream
still having the
सो जाऊंगा ऐसे
Ashish down at the bottom lane, trying to pressure on that side to make sure that on the other side of the map, they can try
Level gap देखो
to
ना दाई
destroy the tower.
Look at
देख रहा
Ashish
हूँ
like striking a pose, just like waiting because it's like somebody. I mean, it's wide
मेरे को
open.
भी
As long
थोड़ा
as the
समझ में आ
minion
रहा है
hits,
right?
somebody has to rotate. So
मोबाइल
again,
तो सही
India
है
doing incredibly well. This positioning is amazing, but they found him.
Oh, the damage is so high, but then again, it did not connect. Ashish goes
La.
down. We're still waiting for
उल्टा
Akshash
मार
to
दिया
actually
क्या?
start the
उल्टा मार
fight,
दिया
but
ऐसे।
they did not manage to do so because he was overextending for sure.
Yeah, I know the teams are not actually trash talking, but I will implement the trash talking because here we go. The umbrella uppers on.
The Umbrella Opus is very good, and it seems like they're trying to
Very
go
nice,
all
nice, nice,
in. The
nice.
has to be used. It's
Oi,
separating
wipe out.
C.
Nice.
It's so,
लो,
so
wipe
good.
out.
Double
जीत
strike
गए, जीत
has
गए,
been
जीत
done. Triple
जीत गए,
strike,
जीत
in
गए।
fact.
तोड़
They're going
तोड़ना
to
ही था।
destroy the high ground tower, and
Exactly.
I'm not
जीत गए यार
surprised.
Minion
आज
से
They're
कि
going
नहीं?
to be trying to destroy all the way into the crystal.
Minion
No
से नहीं
one's
थे
going to
यार।
come out in time.
Minion
Still
आने
waiting
वाला
for
है। आ
the
रहा है
minion
दो
who has been
धीरे
slowed by the
धीरे
debuff coming from the tower, and the crystal will be
तो
destroyed
रहे हैं।
by India.
देखते क्या होता है अगर
Final just doing everything
So
right on
deep,
this
guys.
one. I mean, he was just like letting the Sage's Sanctuary pop because they had such a good, lead that they knew that they won. They had the crystal wide open. There was really no chance for KSA in that one.
A very good way of bowing out the tournament and coming in for the side of Team India here. Yes, they do not make into the main event of the Asian Games, but the way that they showcase that they have the actual skills, the commitment, the practice is something to be respectful of going into the future of their HOK careers.
Yeah, I think India really showed and shined in this one, right? I
Gitu
think
ya,
that's-
India का
if
भाई।
you're looking at
हाँ,
a team
जीत
that's
गए।
like, okay,
वही तो बोल
how
रहा
can
हूँ।
we show up? How can we ensure that
Start with this
we make a name for
one-
ourselves?
one way
That's the
मारा
way
होगा
to
ना?
do it. India right now, they
भाई
have
इधर
a
7 मिनट में
phenomenal
गेम
match.
खत्म हो गया
Very, very
मतलब
इस
एक
बार
तरफा ही होगा यार।
And
हाँ,
it seems
पूरा
like
एक
they do know what they're doing. They can play super well. They've proven to the world that they know what they're doing, and all they have to do is just polish a little bit more.
Yeah, just polish a little bit more, have more
अच्छा,
games,
ये
have
सबका
more
एक ही
time,
phone है,
have more
IQ.
experience here.
Sponsor.
So the Asian Games have concluded coming in for Team India. The India standing with a 1 win and 3 loss in their respective group.
Yeah, go out on a high. And I think that
On a
that's
high.
best case scenario for India here, especially after the first 3 series for them. But being able to do it against KSA and to do it in that way, I mean, it's got to be nothing but, a huge confidence boost for this team moving forward.
For sure. And there's a lot of things that KSA needs to learn as well, such as maybe itemization that is much more suitable for certain heroes and such. I think they are on the right track as well. There's something wrong with what they're doing right now, but of course, don't be discouraged. There's a long way to go. We are all still fresh here as well.
Yeah, no one knows how to fly on their first day, right? I mean, we can't fly as humans here, but you can't run on your first day here. So when you start off HOK, it's like you're starting off as a baby trying to walk or trying to run. These are just the baby steps that KSA and Team India will be having here. Unfortunately, both teams coming in for KSA and also India won't be making it to the main event. But this is not the only chance. There's more to come.
Yeah. If it makes the KSA fans any better, I'm still a baby in this game as well. So I think that we're all kind of in that boat. Well, no, not you guys. You guys are actually pretty good at this game. But I do think that, there's always 1,000 things that you could do better, right? Let's be very honest. And I think as long as you're playing mistake-free, which is almost impossible, but everybody will strive for that.
Trust me, even the best team in the world keep on saying that there's still a lot for them to learn. So what about us, right? So I'm pretty sure that everyone is learning at their own pace. And you know what? Just take your time and do it in your own way, because different people have different style of learning and catching up.
As long as you're committing the practice, committing the learning curve, and you're using your time wisely into learning about anything, right?
खत्म इंडिया का
It's
मैच
okay,
भाई
life itself, a new skill. You will always be rewarded at the end of the day because that's just how life is. You have to commit something to gain something.
रुको आज नेपाल का भी
But I'm
मैच
afraid
था
of
शायद
committing, so,
wait
I'm just going to ride it out.
Yeah.
यस्तो गेमै
No, we're not. We're not.
हाँ,
But I mean,
नेपाल का भी टीम का
look,
मैच था।
KSA, I think in terms of just like the growth, I think that they
अभी
like
इंडिया
more
का खत्म
experience,
हुआ,
more reps,
रुको।
definitely playing with one another, just like huddle in and you know for the next like 3
म्यांमार
months,
वर्सेस नेपाल था। अच्छा इससे पहले खत्म हुआ है ये। देखिए क्या दोस्तों? देखिए क्या नेपाल का गेम? इससे पहले खत्म हो चुका है, फिर भी देखते हैं या फिर क्या करें?
Long story short is practice, so they have to practice as much as they can.
सकते तो
for
है।
sure, for anyone to actually improve on
इसके बाद
anything.
वो होने
Because
वाला है,
the reaction,
श्रीलंका
the
वर्सेस।
timing,
मैं तो शायद नहीं देख पाऊंगा जेरॉक्स भाई, मेरा
मैं भी नहीं देख
subconsciously
पाऊंगा ये।
of every
थोड़ा
hero
जल्दी बुला रहा है
skill
मुझे
and
आज।
ठीक है, ठीक है,
common
ठीक
skills
है।
as
मेरे
well.
को भी मैच
कोई बात
That's
नहीं,
pretty good.
जब तक स्टार्ट नहीं होगा तब तक
That's a
देख
very
लेंगे।
good point, right? As you play more
Okay.
and more,
Okay.
sometimes there's different learners.
10-15 मिनट और बैठेंगे।
Actually
हाँ 10-15 मिनट का
actively
टाइम, उसके बाद
remember
जाना
flash
पड़ेगा।
timers or like specific spell timers like the battlefield command coming from Liu Bang or like
चलो।
the Holy's Burning Sun arrow. Those are
आज तो
important
उतना
timers
कंपनी
that
नहीं दे
affect
पाया
the
यार
game,
जेरॉक्स
or
भाई,
even
सॉरी यार।
to a more
कोई ना,
critical
कोई ना।
level coming in from let's
मम्मी
say from
पापा
other
है ना,
regions
पापा
whereas pro.
कल ही आए थे
They
इंडिया,
start memorizing the
थोड़ा
buff
काम था।
respawn timer after taking it down so they can better plan invasions or counter plays coming in for the team to build that goal lead here. So you gotta learn these sort of things
नेपाल और
to
किसका
better
मैच है
improve your
जेरॉक्स भाई
experience in
इसके
honor
बाद?
of
म्यांमार
ना, ना,
का।
श्रीलंका-
इसके बाद नहीं, हो
And
चुका है।
some of
हो
those
चुका है।
professional
देखिए क्या?
players, by the way, how do they know which buff the enemy jungle is taking is by opening
ये
up
जो
the
गेम
server,
होने वाला है वो
checking
देखते
their
हैं।
gold. If their
अगला-
gold is
अगला
this
round में
much,
देखते हैं
oh,
नेपाल का
they're
गेम,
at the
ठीक है?
red buff.
अगले
If their
stream में।
gold is this much, oh, they're at the blue
ठीक है,
buff.
ठीक
So that is just next level. I cannot catch to that level.
Oh yeah.
But that's how deep the game is, right? Most teams, you'll hear them every 30 seconds. There'll be like a timer, like somebody just making calls because the movements revolve around what time it is in the game, right? Especially in the early game when things are very fixed. You know when the minions are going out. You know when the tyrant is going to spawn. You have these things set up, so everything revolves around these timers.
And timers such as the first objective in the game. How do you push the mid wave? Do you go for the invade? Do you go for the fire beak in the bot lane? Or do you go and help your Clash lane counter out some camps from the enemy top side? River Sprite, respawn timers, all these are really important in honor of Kings, and I believe it should be vastly picked up by not only pro players, but also regular players trying to go pro or just have fun
Zerox
in HOK.
And honestly,
हाँ।
the damage coming out from
मेरा
Ahmed
ID से
is
खेलोगे?
actually quite a lot. He was trying
तुम्हारे
to
ID से?
himself all goals now, but again, the
जितना
chance
आज
for him to
कैसे-
actually do a lot of damage output was there, and he actually managed
मोबाइल
to.
लेजेंड खेल दूं?
And I mean, this gold graph, full control. You
लेकिन
सच में?
इसमें
saw
कैसे करूँगा?
what was happening,
हाँ,
right?
हाँ।
Even when
इसका
India
क्या मैं
was,
वो
like, winning,
शेयर कर
like,
पाऊंगा
I
क्या?
know with
ओए,
the way
हम
he
लोग
was
कितने
able
बजे
to
से
damage
live बैठे थे? हम
people.
live
It
stream
seemed like
बैठे
he
हुए,
could play
कितना
almost
हुआ है?
any hero and he would have had an
हाँ,
impact
शायद
because
130
he was always
नहीं,
in the
नहीं।
back lines,
ये
setting it
वाला
up. He
मोबाइल
had so
वो वाला
many good plays
ये वाला
because again, he's
मैं
just
overall
so
stream-
aggressive and understands the hero.
Maybe it's a
Overall stream
mentality
तो
thing over the
130 के बाद ही बैठे हुए हैं
Yeah, it's like
हम।
yeah, too
130 नहीं,
locked
230
by the pressure. It's like that maybe it's
230
like
को?
a team pressure, a goal pressure.
230
that they
के पीछे
actually have on
थे,
themselves
आपने
to
कॉल
actually
तो किया
perform
था।
good in their first tournament.
2
which
बजे रुक ना
made them
कॉल
more,
देखता
I
कॉल
wouldn't say scared. Scared is not the word. More limited or restricted in their own gameplay.
Yeah, I understand. And sometimes maybe this also.
हाँ 2 बजे एकदम कॉल किया था तो
plays as
हम
well.
2
Yeah,
2
let's say,
15
an
2:20 से
example,
स्टार्ट किया स्ट्रीम
they were practicing other heroes. They were very
2:15
comfortable
से
with Schwancher, with
अच्छा, अच्छा।
Wukong from the India side. But when they arrive here in Malaysia and they realize, wait a minute, everyone else is using different sets of heroes, different metas. Maybe we shouldn't be using our hero. Maybe we should try something similar to them. So that kind of pressure also plays a huge role. Maybe it's a factor in a bad way.
Yeah, and you can kind of tell that they didn't seem like they were too familiar with some of these heroes. It's one thing to play meta once, but you got to be 100% comfortable. I know that you rightly pointed that out, Adam, in the pregame to game 2. That is that thing where you can't just play meta heroes if you don't know how. You don't know the intricacies of that hero, and you get caught out because of it.
And these replays coming in from Idol just casually landing those hooks and flipping the enemy team going into his own team is giving me PTSD from all the peak tournament transfer players I have been meeting here, and I don't like it. But he's definitely a master of this pick, and he is playing really, really well to bring his team to a comfortable
Messi
lead from start to
hat-trick,
finish.
हाँ,
There's always
हाँ।
that one Schwancher that
देखा
is
भाई, देखा।
just so painful.
अच्छा मारा ना
That plays
मेसी ने।
very well, and as usually we see a lot of them from Vietnam, especially. I'm not sure why, but this is such a very good play coming in from India, and there's almost nothing KSA can do.
Nothing they could do. I mean, just Ashish
Attacks and the critical hit is coming in from the BC attack.
again, right? Revenant
Net-
Exports. They're going to
net
be in the
नहीं चल रहा है।
KFC.
पूरा red हो रहा है,
Now
red हो
people
रहा
are
है
knowing,
पूरा।
but like again, right? Revenant Exports.
net
They're going to
नहीं
be in the
चल रहा
है।
KFC.
पूरा red हो रहा है,
Now
red हो
people
रहा
are
है
knowing,
पूरा।
but like,
अटक
With Mara on the stage. Take it away, Mara.
टेंगे हो गया हमारा.
We're here with Anil from
ये
Team
हो क्या रहा है
India.
यार?
Congratulations on your first win and
Fielding set
MVP.
हो.
I hope we all grow from this and perform better in the future tournaments.
And we hope to see you in the future tournaments as well.
Yeah.
What would you like to say to everybody watching at home and to all the regions that's looking at Team India?
We are at a very early stage, so just don't count us out yet. We'll try to improve and hopefully be much better in the next tournament.
And that's what counts.
Yeah.
The pressure, knowing that a lot of people at home are watching for them and rooting for them and not knowing whether or not they're going to make it properly or not. But in the end, they did their best. They tried their best. And it seems like we're going to be looking at our standing first because that was India's last match.
Correct. With that game down, India will be bowing out of the tournament here. After Philippines in Group A won their upcoming match, they are sent directly into the main event with a 3-0 overall win and loss, with their final opponents being Indonesia here. And Uzbekistan and Pakistan are currently tied up with Group B. We can see that Myanmar is sitting comfortably, and also same situation Philippines directly sent into the main event. Nepal and also Kyrgyzstan might have to fight for that final slot. And looking into Group C, this is where India and Saudi Arabia resides. With their losses, with their wins coming in from 4th and 5th, they will be out of the contention going in for last chance stage or even the upcoming top 1, top 2 that gets invited directly here. So for Group C, you can start to see the shape.
Yeah.
Laos, Vietnam, Kazakhstan, they are fighting for 1st and 2nd. Then the loser out of those 3 teams will be going in for that last chance stage later on. And finally in Group D, with the minimal games happening right now, Hong Kong, China, and also Republic of Korea is sitting comfortably with Syria in the middle zone. Singapore and Sri Lanka are currently at 4th and 5th, but only play 1 game. So more of the games will be shape-shifting Group D later on in towards today, with the final series looking over to Hong Kong, China, and Syria after this.
Yeah, it's been so long since we've seen some of the teams from Group D.
Correct.
It seems like everything has been pushed towards the end, which, I mean, it's favorable for them because they get to see what the other groups are doing in terms of meta. I don't know if it's going to completely change the way that they've been picking because, you know, Hong Kong, China, Republic of Korea, like, you know, a lot of those teams I would say are kind of set in.
Internet
it comes
बहुत
back to Syria, Singapore,
खराब
Sri
है
Lanka
यार.
to kind of really to somehow defend against these 2 titans here.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it might affect them in terms of what heroes they're going to be picking, how they're going to be playing, because definitely the entire team is going to be watching all the games from Group A, Group B, Group C. A lot of things to learn from everyone else, for sure. So I'm not surprised if they would turn out different than the last time that we saw them.
This is what we talk about, like the cultural exchange out of the game and meta exchange in the game between some of these teams. You learn, you lose, you win, you still learn. So coming in for all these entire groupings here, I do think that Group C looks the most mature thus far. You can definitely identify the first 3 teams that's going to be going to the main event or going to the last chance stage. Now, coming into the final series of the day, we will be having Syria going up against Hong Kong, China.
Wow. It's gonna be
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka and Hong Kong, China. Yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting match after this because this is probably the number 1 in the standing and probably one of the last ones in the standing as well.
Right.
It's huge in power difference for sure, but we do know that Sri Lanka is also still trying their best, trying to learn something new, and maybe this is the time for them to try things out and experience the best of the best inside the game itself.
Yeah, Hong Kong, China. Definitely the favorite in Group D. I think that there was a lot of pro play. These are guys that are very well experienced. I mean, you're saying that Sri Lanka's on the bottom, but they've only played 1 game, right?
Yeah.
Let's not discount them. I think that, you know, they still have a chance at the end of the day, as do any of the teams here. But I think Hong Kong, China right now, it looks like they might just be too strong.
Well, there's still more time to actually figure out before we actually head into the first game of the side for Sri Lanka and Hong Kong, China, because for me, you can talk about it on paper, like we all know, like, okay, Hong Kong, China, maybe they look the best in the group for itself alongside Republic of Korea and maybe Singapore coming on, but for me, it's like, if it never happened before, or it hasn't happened in game, you can't really say it's 100%. Maybe it's a 99%, but it's never 100%.
Yeah. Definitely not.
Yeah, because
Especially not on Kings.
Yeah.
we did see on how Hong Kong China actually has some of the weaknesses as well
Mobile
exposed
Legends upload
yesterday. Maybe
karna hai
Sri Lanka saw
34
that as
minute.
well, and they can try to exploit that. So it all depends on how they're going to execute this. It's going to be hard, sure.
Download
Everyone's
upload to
going to
ठीक
be
दिखा रहा है.
quite difficult to go up against Hong Kong China.
तुम्हारा कितना
but
दिखा रहा है,
I'm pretty
Zerox
sure
भाई?
they can
कितना
try to
दिखा
do
रहा है
something.
डाउनलोड अपलोड?
But you know what you can try
Download
out? You
upload
can try out the
200 दिखा रहा है.
iQOO
दोनों
15R,
ही.
which is our tournament official phone coming in. Come for iQOO for this Asian Games Esports Qualifiers for Honor of Kings. Thank you so much, iQOO, for sponsoring this phone, allowing our players to practice and play on the stage seamlessly and smooth.
आ गए आपका नहीं आया था
नहीं
और
यार
छुट्टी
देखो
वाले
ना
हैं क्या?
अभी तक ऐसा ही है इंटरनेट। ये क्या हो रखा है यार, पूरा रेडी रेड है।
एक बार वाईफाई थोड़ा देर के लिए बंद करके आता हूँ यार।
नहीं नहीं,
क्या
ये
पता?
पूरा नेपाल का इश्यू है बोल रहा है। मैं कॉल करके पूछा,
अच्छा
ओवरऑल इश्यू है।
मोबाइल लेजेंड खेलना है।
मेरा तो आ गया। ओए मैगी मैगी
हाँ।
कैसे नहीं मैगी मैगी
थोड़ा थोड़ा तो चल रहा है अभी।
मेरा और जेरॉक्स आएगा।
गैस सॉरी यार, अब ऐसा ही हो रहा है, क्या करें। चलो ये श्रीलंका का मैच शुरू होने वाला है, ठीक है, हांगकांग के साथ शायद। लेट्स सी, देखते हैं।
थोड़ा सा ही हो रहा है हमें। हाँ और सही हो जाए, और सही हो जाए, और सही। चलो विनायक भाई, वोटलिंग का मानसे लोग तो भेज दो यार हमारे पास, तुम्हारा वोटलिंग। ये
5,000 बोल रहे थे, बोल गया नेक्स्ट वन कुछ है नहीं। मेरा वॉइस मतलब कुछ तो किस टाइप का आ रहा है मैगी भाई? थोड़ा दूर से बोला हुआ आ रहा है क्या?
हाँ अभी सही आ रहा है। कल डाउनलोड होगा क्या मोबाइल लेजेंड?
डिलीट किया था क्या?
हाँ
चीना जाना पड़ा नहीं। हेलो मैं किसी मांडे थ्री। हेलो हेलो
थोड़ा येलो येलो आने लगा है अभी। गाइस यार आज इंटरनेट इश्यू कर रहा है यार, क्या बोलूं। अरे यार फुल रेड है।
After a short break, we're back at it once again with more Honor of Kings action for the 5th day and 5th match for our 2026 Asian Games Esports Qualifiers for Honor of Kings. My name is Sagi, your desk host once again for the final series of the day. And in the casting side, we have Holler and Adam Spartanka back at it once again.
Yeah, again, continuing on with the momentum, right? We made it to day 5, the 5th series, and we're past the official halfway point, and now we're getting to the point where, hey, some of these teams might not be surviving for too much longer. So a little bit of drama.
Yeah, we've already seen a couple of teams that, you know, sort of eliminated out of this. And I think there's going to be more after this for sure. But the pressure is high. It's very, very high.
Talking about high pressure, right? I think the moments that you can actually imagine is that if you're 1-0 or 0-1, you gotta be careful of the upcoming game that you're playing, because if you're at 1-1, you're pretty okay, you still have chances. You're at 2-0, you're pretty happy because one more win and you're like, poof, you're in the tournament for the main event. But you're 0-1 or 0-2, that's where you are like so backed out into a pinch that you desperately need a win to prove for yourself. And I believe this is the exact scenario that both Hong Kong, China, and their opponent Sri Lanka is currently facing right now.
Yeah, they're looking to this one. This one in particular is definitely very important because as you're rightly saying,
Groupings here, I would say
तुम
that
तुमको मैंने सिखाया
it's a really difficult
तुमको मैंने
matchup that
सिखाया
they're
तुम
facing
मुझे
right
सिखा
now.
रहे
We
हो
saw how Hong Kong, China played yesterday.
अभी गेम शुरू होने
The
वाला है
most
ठीक है उसका
textbook style that
श्रीलंका
we've
का
ever seen. That's similar to Indonesia that has
Yeah,
yet to
that's right.
suffer a single death
चलो,
or
अभी सही है, Nate.
elimination on their own side. So for Sri Lanka, when you're facing such
है
an
ना?
opponent here,
कितना
अभी
just
भी
try our
लाली
best.
है
Just try our best. I have nothing much to say.
लाली
Just try
दिखा
our
रहा
best.
है
really?
हाँ,
Okay,
पूरा लाली
okay.
दिखा रहा
I
है।
would, because for myself, I'm kind of like on the Adam camp where I would be like, hey, let's go all in, right?
Okay.
Not just, I mean, obviously the positive coach speak is to be like, hey, try your best. Let's just,
Huh?
continue on. We know what a
Zerox
titan
क्या था
Hong Kong,
इसका
China are. But I do think that,
Huh?
like, let's not hold anything
Kung sa
back.
dunya
Let's go
may
all
right?
in. Let's just, what do we have to lose at this stage, right? I mean, if they're already so much better, they're going to beat us regardless. But let's go out, again, with everything in mind.
क्या क्या बोलते
Yeah, I
पता
also
ही नहीं
understand
चलता
where Saki is coming
गाने का
from
lyrics
because there's a lot of things at stake for sure. They would prefer to not lose
पाँच
any
दे रहा है
game
यार अब बड़ी
whatsoever.
स्पीडी
So the fear of doing a mistake up on live TV,
अभी
पाँच का
भाई
स्पीड
दे
है
रहा
अपना।
on the stage, a lot of people cheering at home.
5 भी दे रहा है
Sometimes that fear can really get
घंटा
a
पाँच
hold
से
of
क्या
you.
होगा
It's like, I would say
मतलब
it's double-edged
थोड़ा बहुत
sword.
आप लोग अगर
Sometimes
मेरी
people
बात
get
तो कर रहे हैं ना
motivated
इधर
in situations than you have,
नहीं
like,
डाउनलोड
the
स्पीड से हो रहा है ना वो तो
the adrenaline
मेरा
that
बात
pumps
जा
you
रहा है
up,
पाँच
and
का
sometimes
वो
people
तो हो
get
रहा है
haunted by
स्ट्रीम का
on
कुछ भी
stage,
नहीं हो रहा है
piercing lines and
वही तो,
everything. But that's
बस
for
आप लोग
players to
अगर
prove
हमारी
us
बात
wrong
करें।
because upcoming in will be Hong Kong, China, and also Sri Lanka taking the stage with this teaser video.
They have already shown
चलो
they will
गेम
not
शुरू
go
होने वाला है
down
ठीक है
without a
श्रीलंका
fight.
का
Every moment in the gorge must be earned against them.
ओए मेरा तो जाना
Now they
पड़ेगा यार
step
मुझे
forward,
बुला गया है
ready to
बुलाया
ठीक है,
है।
ठीक
push
है।
their opponents to the limit. Entering the arena,
ठीक
Sri
है
Lanka!
चलो श्रीलंका का टीम आ चुका है ठीक है भाई लोग
They have made their presence known with dominant performance. They have shown exactly what they are capable of. Now ready to continue their march through the competition. Give
Hong
it
Kong,
up
China का
for
चलो
Hong Kong, China!
A battle between a young squad from Sri
कौन
Lanka
जीतेगा
and an
दोस्तों?
experienced bunch coming in from Hong Kong, China. This matchup will stir up the grouping coming in for Group D.
And as we go into this one, I think that a lot of expectations, right? Sri Lanka, how do they bounce back? How do they get back themselves into this, not only the series, but also the group here? But it's going to be Sri Lanka, Nisada, Parusa, Janith, Anjana, and Malka here, just rounding up the Sri Lanka squad, where again, we have seen glimpses of hope and positivity. And I think that the team has that potential, but can they take on the Titan that is Hong Kong, China?
Yeah, that is the question, right? After seeing a lot of different matches, pretty sure they will be able to pick up a thing or two from all of those amazing matches that we've seen so far. But going against Hong Kong, China is definitely going to be a little bit more difficult.
I think it's definitely going to be difficult, right? At the end of the day, if you were to come in with a prediction, Hong Kong, China is definitely one of the group leaders and the main contenders here coming in from Group D. But I like something about Sri Lanka. The way that they are doing the goal strength strategy that you guys mentioned, the roamer item mid with the jungle item support role, really allows the Tarusha, the main core of their team, to really, I would say, flourish in that sense. Get all the goal and try to carry the game and break through.
Yeah, funneling the goal towards your jungle is one of the most important things that they have to get used to, and I think they really know what they're doing, and it all depends on whether or not they can continue it consistently. But this is the lineup for Hong Kong China. We have Skin, Kahin, Hoa, Sumki, and Shishan. We do know that Hoa is such a good player in the mid lane, so scary for anyone going up against him.
A lot of history in this team. I mean, if you're talking about the pro scene, I mean, you know that Tikin is actually, he's from Fearless Esports. He played on Pause as well as AG in 2024. Then Miles Otus, right? Kahin. This is also a guy that's actually been there as well. Hawa has had some experience with Zoa as well, Sumki, excuse me. Both of them had been playing on AG. So a lot of that pro experience, but now they're bringing it again to the Asian Games Qualifier stage.
Like I mentioned, right, a very experienced squad, and we do see that there is a substitution coming in for the side of the roamer role here. Yesterday, we saw the player called Kahing play the roamer role for the side of Hong Kong, China, and today they're bringing in Sintan for their roamer role instead. So it's going to be interesting how this new upcoming roamer player will affect the team from a fundamental-wise, or how it will create a chemical reaction in bringing them forward in this Group D.
Yeah, that's definitely true. They actually swapped it out. Probably we want to try to garner as much as experience as possible, but from Sri Lanka's side as well, they would want to be learning in this game a lot and not try to hold back. Again, holding back might be too much of a bad thing.
I don't think you ever want to hold back. Yeah, I think we're always kind of talking about like, oh, how much are they going to bring? Or do they want to be reserved? No, you saw that in the last series, right? When India, I know, let the man fly, let him pick whatever heroes he wants because he's going to be comfortable. He's on his comfort heroes. He's able to excel. I expect both of these teams, if they want to play, you can't just be boxed in. You got to do what you want. You got to play your heroes.
Comfort is the name of the game here. If you are playing scrims and you can't be accustomed to the meta heroes and get comfortable with them, then maybe going back to the basics here, like Uzbekistan. They weren't comfortable with the meta picks, but when they came in with the Kaiser Dolia in their day 2 or their day 3 of their debut, they got back.
चलो गाइस गेम शुरू होने वाला है ठीक है श्रीलंका का नेट थोड़ा बफर कर रहा है आप लोग थोड़ा सा
for some of these emerging regions
ऐसा ही है क्या बोले
international or regional tournament.
So it seems like the pattern that we're seeing in the Asian Games Qualifier is that maybe if you're stuck, maybe it's just so hard to progress. Going back to what you're comfortable with might be one of the best choices that you have, because it takes a lot of pressure out of your shoulder trying to second guess whether or not is this the right move that I'm making, is this the right brush that I'm hiding at, because you already have all of these muscle memories because you're comfortable with that hero and role.
And especially in game 1, I think that you want to be a little bit more freewheeling, right? Let them just kind of play it out. If things didn't work, okay, let's just shore up some of the weaknesses. What are those mistakes? Is it a draft? And then you're looking to kind of, hone in a little bit more in that sense. But I think that especially for game 1, set the tone, go out aggressive.
Set the tone and aggression. I like that statement coming in from you, Holler, here. As we jump right into the pick and ban here with Sri Lanka with the blue side here, we do see some of the high engaged capability heroes such as the Guan Yu and also the Maestro Nui has been banned away from the blue side here. And for Hong Kong, China, staple bans here, Ukyo Dachibana and Dolia removed from the pool.
Yeah, taken away from the blue side, right? Those are prime first picks for the blue side, right? And Sri Lanka right now, they're going to think about what they want to do in terms of direction. They're going to go a little bit, not show all of their cards, and they're going to just pick up the tried and true Lapu Lapu.
Yeah, Lapu Lapu is such a good pick for sure. Looking at the bans
चलो
coming
लापू
in
लापू
from
लिया है
China
ठीक
as
है
well, they
श्रीलंका
actually
के
take out
पहले बंदे ने
Ukyo and Dolia, which is very, very annoying, very efficient in being used by Sri Lanka before. So that shows that they did their research for sure. The first 2 picks coming in from Hong Kong, China is going to be a lot of crowd control.
Very aggressive, right? The Xiao Qiao, the Dharma, a lot of damage as well, and the knockups that you mentioned just now. And Xiao Qiao has been one of the underrated picks thus far in this tournament. It's not really about 100 Street Breeze, it's more on how you can apply damage. One good spell one coming in from the Xiao Xiao Boomerang, and you are essentially out of the laning phase if you do get hit from mid to late game.
Yeah, one thing that we've noticed from Hong Kong, China, generally, I mean, we've only had one other series, is that they are not looking to, like tailor their draft to something that's like one-dimensional, like a glass cannon style and looking to end the game. They are very balanced. They're looking to just play what's given, and again, a more traditional style of draft.
I think it's more fair to call it a default mode, maybe,
Correct.
because it's very balanced, so that maybe they can react more within the game itself. So, oh, you know what? If we need to funnel more gold towards the Dharma, we can just leave the Dharma alone, let him farm. Or maybe if we want to play in a bit more passive way, we can try to make it in a way that the roamer plays much more aggressive to the front and try to open more, so that we can farm much more passively at the back. So I think default maybe one of the most
Jaldi ban
balanced and
karo yaar.
okay thing to do.
Yeah, it's like their muscle memory, right? Like they're already accustomed to a specific playstyle. Slow and steady wins the race. If you can be accomplished, you can like successfully repeat the fundamentals, the laning phase. Make sure that this exact matchup, you play it 100 times, you can master it 90 times. This jungle pathing, clear it up fast, make sure that you save those seconds on the jungle camps, and then you come out for the early ganks. Those are all the things that fundamentals can improve your gameplay in the long run.
Personally, jungle path is one of the most hardest thing for me to understand, because there's the shortest path and there's also the fastest and most richest path, which is two different things, right? So it's very hard to understand.
Yeah, and you're
मुझे
talking
लग
about
रहा है
slow and
श्रीलंका
steady
वाले
winning
टीम
a
जीतेगा
race.
इस
It's
बार.
like traditional tortoise and hare style. But for me, I want things fast. I want the
लापू
Lamborghini.
लापू
I want the
लिया है
Ferrari.
और
I
एक
want
क्या
to
है?
go, 120 miles an hour, just going reckless. Because those to me
वैसा
are
ही
the
character
most
है, ठीक
fun
है?
games to watch, and being able to kind of just where there's absolute chaos. That's kind of what I want to see. But it looks like the draft from Hong Kong, China, they're not going to be doing any of that.
Yeah, it's looking really slow and steady coming in from Hong Kong, China. It's like their bread and butter here, the way they are trained to actually play the game. China will be locking on the 4th pick here, checking out the pick and bans thus far. The second phase introduces bans like the Byron and Dhiren Jie. And coming from Sri Lanka itself, we do see the Arlie and also the Zhang Fei being locked away. With Sri
अजीब-अजीब
Lanka, their
है.
last pick is the Fatih and also the Consort Yu. Some of the good picks here that are able to
लेकिन कुछ भी हो
counteract against
सकता है यार.
Nakoruru,
यहाँ पे
the Dharma,
players पे
and
depend होना
also
पड़ता है,
the
ना कि hero.
Fatih is also pretty decent in handling the laning phase against the Dharma and also the late game assassination attempts on towards that channel.
Yeah, right now we're trying to see what roam that Hong Kong, China is going to be picking out. But I do feel that the picks coming in from Sri Lanka is going to grant Holler what he wants, which is exactly the chaotic gameplay, the aggression that they might want to bring out, because these are the hero of an early game composition.
Definitely, and you have the Nakaruru, the Chano, a lot of damage burst potential, plus everybody else is literally there to set you up, right? And it comes back to those two. If they get isolated in any way, they're going to have a tough time.
And this time around, coming in from the draft from Hong Kong, China, is looking really aggressive, I would say. Everything has a crowd control, everything has a trigger discipline, where the moment that they feel like they want to fight you, it's
Bam.
go time
तो
coming
game
in
शुरू
from
है,
the
ठीक है
red
अब.
side draft. But let's do take a look on the Sri Lanka draft for a while now. It's really slow and steady. It's really back and forth. They are playing with front lines coming in from Tarush and Malka, making sure that there is room to farm for Anjana and also Nasanda in the clash and farm role here. It's a different approach coming in from the Sri Lanka draft, but this is game one between Sri Lanka and also Hong Kong, China, duking it out in Group D.
Thank you so much, Saki, as we start this one. Game number one of the 5th and final series of the day. I mean, going into this one, I mean, you knew that Sri Lanka were going to come out firing, right? And I think that this
आप लोगों को
draft
समझ
is
आ रहा है
pretty
दोस्तों?
balanced. I'm not giving a huge edge to either of
मिड
the
लेन में
squads.
इतना
And right
खतरनाक
now,
फाइट
it's
होता
all
है यार
about
स्टार्टिंग
execution.
पे.
And very interesting move coming in from Tarusha to actually join the mid
चलो
lane
भाई.
to clear the waves first. But look at this, potentially an aggressive rotation coming in from Hong Kong, China. It seems like just try to steal as much economy as they can.
Yeah, this is a great start, right? And you're going to also leave Anjana and Sumki. Let those two kind of duke it out one-on-one. Nobody should get a huge advantage, as it looks like the pheasant is going to be stolen away. Hong Kong, China, again, this is that value. You went into the enemy jungle, you were rotating around. What was available, and they took that away.
Exactly, without losing anything, without being noticed at the same time. So I do believe that they're going to be continuing this until they have that goal advantage. What we do realize from Hong Kong, China is that they will never try to engage in a war that they think they're going to win in 50-50% chance. They will only take it if it's 70-30 or 80-20, somewhat like that.
Yeah, and it seems like, I mean, they didn't know who was coming in, who was stealing. It looks like, Sri Lanka kind of need to install a couple more CCTV cameras, right?
That's true. And Hoa consistently using the Chow Chow this way, always throwing random first kills towards the enemy, trying to see if it could hit. If one sticks too much, they could be able to try to continue engage into a fight.
Yeah, how is going to be a problem? I mean, those fans, those Blasphemy fans are going to be a problem, right? The amount of damage that they can do. So Sri Lanka on the other side, I mean, if you're looking at like Janeth, Anjana, you know, they definitely can be vulnerable. They can be a little out of position and get hit by those things. So it really comes back to the positioning. And now it looks like Xingzhan is going to be just kind of stun locking a little bit, but look, there's a disengage.
A very interesting move coming in from Hong Kong, China, still trying to pressure out from the mid lane jungle, and they're trying to
safe
collect
kill,
all
they
as much as they can. See all of these small little things. Of course, it seems like it's a small thing, but a very good throw from Imalka,
Only
trying
farming.
to steal away his own jungle.
But
I
Hong
mean,
Kong
you
का
think it's
point
small,
ज़्यादा
but
है,
it's
ठीक है?
actually big in the long
कुछ भी हो
scheme of
सकते
things.
हैं.
It's like the game of inches. Any sort of like steal away,
Red
any
Wolf
sort
is out
of you know
right there,
jungle
isn't
camp
it?
that you
Yeah,
probably
because of-
shouldn't have gotten, but taking it away, that thing swings quite a bit, especially in the early game. And we're not even 3 minutes in. We got a 1K lead for Hong Kong, China.
Almost be able to try to steal the Crimson Golem, but it seems like a teleportation might
Hong
force
Kong ने
a
lead
fight
में ले
here,
लिया
but
यार.
it seems like he's just using it just to
Hong
rotate
Kong वाला
back
team
to
अच्छा
his
लग रहा है अब.
Azure Golem. Hong Kong, China really trying to focus and play in the long game.
In the long game. And I mean, it's going to set up by a really good early game,
Hong
which
Kong
it looks
वाला
like they're
team
going to
बढ़िया है,
contest this Azure Golem. They actually found out Shinan, who's going to just get a two-man stun. The Tremor Smash is going to be used. They got a nice little play, but the Raging Sea in return. And it looks like Hawa getting a little bit low, gets the plan out, but he's going to be picked off. It's going to go first strike going the way of Sri Lanka as they make them pay. 3 members down from Hong Kong, China.
A great Sacred Tree Blessing coming from them. It's a very good fight coming from Sri Lanka. He can go back to the top lane and try to get any objective that's left over there. I think that Sri Lanka actually managed to pull the kiting very nicely. Here we go. This is exactly what happened. The ultimate coming in from the Liampo actually started the war only towards the Janith. But then the rest of the team from Sri Lanka side did not receive any crowd control whatsoever, giving them the freedom to take down Hong Kong, China.
That was a great team fight by Sri Lanka. And also Tharusha, let's talk about that ghost ship. Locking Hawa down, getting him stuck into you where he's not able to run away. That is the perfect team fight to start off this game. And now the net worth lead has shifted in their favor.
A very good fight for sure, but seems like they're trying to make sure that they can get the Tyrant. The vision is provided by Sinchan, but apparently he doesn't want to take any risk because his teammates is quite busy taking a lot of resources in the top lane.
Yeah, you're counting out Sri Lanka, and man, they're coming out firing here. Not even 5 minutes in. Yes, they are a little bit behind, but they're taking the big objectives. They've gotten 3 kills plus that Tyrant, and now it comes back to Hong Kong, China. They need to be aggressive. This is what you're doing when you're kind of like maybe losing the map control phase. You look to contest. Maybe you get the 50-50. It doesn't look like they get it here.
Rotation is being done by Hong Kong, China, still trying to focus down in the bottom lane because they know Sumki is nearby. They need to try to help him as much as he can. It seems like they're about to dive right into the tower.
Yeah, if this is the perfect timing. The flash away is not going to get away from that. The Honey Sweet Breeze, and they will knock it down for Sumki, and they will take the bottom T1 Hong Kong, China with a great rotate.
So
Hong Kong
clean,
का
right?
एक-
The way they rotate from the back, and they know that there's nowhere he can go. Anjana really cannot do anything over there, but look at this damage
Yeah,
coming in
right.
from Kahin. He
Bad.
really tried to punish down Nisanda, but it seems like he managed to run away.
Yeah, but you kind of knew that was the situation for Anjana, right? He was all by himself. It was just a matter of time, but they lost the bottom T2. That entire push from Hong Kong, China, they're like, okay, we don't care about kills, but we'll figure out and take objectives away, and this is how we're going to win this game.
Seems like they're trying to focus down towards the mid lane. He was recalling in the middle, out in the open, and Flash has been used by Sakin.
Yeah, Nisanda down for the count on this one. Zikin making him pay. This is a guy that we've seen time and time again. His alias, his IGN is actually Snow. He has a lot of history on the Hong Kong esports scene. Just remember to respect his name. But this is actually the first time we've been calling him by his actual name, Zikin.
Oh, okay. Very interesting right there. They're going to try to clear out the minion as much as possible in the mid lane, and the rotation is going to be done by Hong Kong, China, putting Zakin
बराबर है
at
team
bottom
तो.
lane. But look at how they're trying to slowly creep forward, trying to see if there's any chance for them to start a team fight. but it seems like they're still trying to hold back. Sri Lanka, a lot of respects coming out from them, but they have no vision towards the Crimson Golden.
Yeah, and the rich get richer, right? They've shifted things. They were able to take that away. They had the vision game, and it looked like Sri Lanka were not willing to fight. They had chances, mind you. If we're talking about this gold graph, it was definitely in their favor.
Yeah.
But Hong Kong, China, the way that they're efficiently taking things off of the map, yes, they might be down in kills, but they're getting the neutrals, which is actually helping accelerate this farm here.
I agree, and they are suffocating Sri Lanka away from any economical advantage. But it seems like Tremor Smash coming in.
Yeah, he's looking to go for that backside, but the ghost ship is going to be used. He's actually on the other side of that, and Malka's going to be taken down. They get the freeze on Shinsan, who's going to get away, but they've gotten what they wanted, the Azure Golem, as well as that kill.
Any other team would have just continued trying to continue that team fight after getting a Malka, but Hong Kong, China, is just so disciplined, doesn't want to do any unnecessary mistakes at all. Also because of what happened just now in the earlier fight, right?
Equal
Because they
banana,
got punished, and it's been proven that Sri Lanka can actually still fight against them, even though they had one hand tied behind their back.
Yeah, and actually, it's a huge confidence boost, right? When you're
Hong
when you're
Kong
able
is
to go
there,
in, and you know that early game has been largely in favor of Sri Lanka at moments, but the way that Hong Kong has just completely weathered the storm, and in the past like 3 minutes, shifted it back to like all of a sudden to like a 4K net worth lead. That is absolutely massive for Hong Kong, China.
They're really controlling the entire map, and Fateh hasn't even finished his Doomsday just yet, but we can see Axe of Torment is done. He's on the way to maybe make a Glacial Buckler after this, but definitely a very high damage coming in from Fateh. It seems like he was the cause of
कितना लंबा गेम जा रहा है,
lost
देखो
a
ना।
lot of their heroes just now.
If
8
you're
मिनट हो
looking
चुका है,
at the
3-3 है
roles,
अभी
all of
तक।
the different pieces, every single head-to-head has been in favor of Hong Kong, China, and they've gotten that. There's a reason why they've grown this lead to about 6K at this point, because all of the lanes winning, and then again taking more of the farm and being very jungle efficient.
Also focusing on all objectives, but it seems like he's gonna go down from the Sunda. There's nothing his teammate can do.
Yeah, Tharusha is on the run, but that ghost ship is not going to be locking him down. It's a double strike going the way of Samki. That's the worst guy to feed.
अब अच्छा खेल रहा हूँ,
Very,
हॉन्ग वाली
very
टीम
good
अच्छा खेल रहा
fight
है।
coming in from Hong Kong, China. They managed to steal 2 heroes away from Sri Lanka. They can focus down towards the mid lane. This is the tier 1 mid lane, by the way, very important. But they
They're
might.
going for the flank. The Honestly Breeze, the flash away. That's a nice one. Janith will get off, but he actually runs to the wrong side. Kahin taking him down, the mid T1 down as well.
Seems like they're trying to punish him, but it seems like Kahin is so ready to go back in.
Yeah, Kahin though, he's getting walked down here. A couple shots, and that last one, not enough to take down Kahin, just baiting him away. Space created top lane, top T2 down.
That's exactly what happened. The space is so valuable that they managed to get a tier 2 tower, which is very, very effective and efficient. They can just keep on doing the same thing over and again. Having Sakin pushing the side lane, or maybe just sending Kahin like right now.
5 टावर
and
ले लिया
putting
क्या
away their attention.
हांगकांग वाले
And
ने?
actually, it's one of those things. It's like, look at my left hand, look at my left hand, but it's like the right hand that's
पक्का
doing
है,
all the
जीतेगा,
damage.
हांगकांग
And you
वाले
kind of saw that in the
जीतेगा
top
इस
lane, and the Rage you see will connect on the 2, but there's really no follow-up. He does get the charge, but
देखो।
Amalka is going to be left for all alone as he gets picked off. They find Janet
अलग ही
as
मार
well.
रहे हैं यार अब
No
ये
one
लोग,
can
ये लोग
save
लीड
him
में
at
आ
that
चुके
point,
हैं।
but at the same time they're
Arana
sending the
मुश्किल है।
Sana towards the top lane. This might be quite smart in my opinion, because they have to send someone to the back to try to defend their tower to make sure that they don't lose any towers.
Yeah, so you're going to look to trade the top T1 away for this mid T2. Hong Kong, China, not able to find Darusha, but this bottom lane is pushing. Sri Lanka, they probably need to figure out some way to hold. They're not going to be able to in this bottom lane.
You know,
No,
Liampo is
destroy
going to be
कर दिया।
ready with the
Main-
Tremor
main
Smash,
base
and
बस
I'm
जाना
sure
चाहिए,
he
ठीक है
is
भाई
very
लोग।
trigger discipline, but we can also see Nasana is going to go down in the hands of the Nakororo. Kahin is really unforgiving. He will go and punish you if you go into his side of the map.
Yeah, Nisanda was in the top lane, just happily pushing, and then Kahin's just like, yeah, hold my beer. I'm going to get this one. He goes all the way up top. He's like an assassin style, just completely burst him, and then that just completely limits or takes away that top lane push.
Yeah, we all know. At this point, Kahin's damage is quite high. So
Yeah.
anyone's going to get burst now, even though Nasanda actually has Secretary Blessing or maybe even a Pure Sky, but there's nothing he can do at this point. Sumki is going to be able to get the Tyrant, even though they had Primal Bond for a bit, but he is fine. Sakin is going to be focusing down at the bottom lane. They're all trying to prepare for what's potentially going to come afterwards. They sent the Shadow Vanguard towards the top lane.
They're so far up right now. Kahin right now with a 3-level differential, 2 now with against Darusha, and now they've all joined up, and it looks like they want to siege this mid T3. Shadow Vanguard in the top lane, so they've got even more push coming. But the
खत्म है
Rage
शायद.
see only on the
श्रीलंका
one,
वाले
not
team
too
अब
much
खत्म.
value. Shinchan will just happily take that.
Yeah, they will not try to force this one out too much. Still trying to be disciplined, and this is what really matters for them, right? Not trying to force unnecessarily because they don't really have to. They can just try to let it all play out until one mistake comes out from Sri Lanka.
It's so patient, right? They'll push with the Shadow Vanguard as well, and now they're looking to go, this is that space, and they instantly delete Jonathan. He's going to be taken out. The Rusha's getting a little bit low himself,
Nice.
but Stomkey with just enough taking him
nice,
down as well.
nice.
They're diving the
Gaya
crystal. They
Bisam.
had just barely taken the top T3, and now
Ab
Hong
gaya.
Kong, China looking to just end this. They find Asanda. They're going to get
Badhiya,
the
jeet
ace,
gaya.
and they will take game number 1.
I'm in awe with how they managed that comeback after that 3 takedown given over to the side of Sri Lanka in the early game. Hong Kong China's resistance towards these things and how they pace
Nice,
themselves
यार.
patiently is just
हांगकांग का विक्ट्री हो
really
चुका है,
worth it
ठीक है
for us to
दोस्तों.
learn.
I agree.
और
That
आज
definitely very, very hard.
क्या
The
बोलूँ,
patience
बहुत ही
to
बहुत ही
trigger
बहुत
this
ही वो लैग कर रहा है, ठीक है, इंटरनेट मेरा, तो बफर भी हो रहा होगा स्ट्रीम आप लोगों को. सो आज आई गेस इतना ही वॉच पार्टी करते हैं. मिलते हैं 20 तारीख को. 20 तारीख है अगला हमारा लास्ट डे है, ठीक है, इंडिया टीम का मैच. तो हाँ यार, आज जितने भी भाई लोग थे सब लोगों ने देखा, थैंक यू सो मच. मज़ा आया आज, बट नेट का इश्यू हो गया, ठीक है. इंडिया का मैच तो पूरा अच्छे तरीके से देखा, और ऐसे ही स्ट्रीम में आते रहना. सबको थैंक्स फॉर वाचिंग. अब मिलते हैं अगले स्ट्रीम में, तब तक के लिए बाय बाय दोस्तों.